Hello, hello, my lovely people. Honey here. Decided to have kind of a relaxing Wednesday stream today. If you can call watching scary videos relaxing, but I find it relaxing, so what do you know? That's what we're gonna do. If you want to hang with me for a while. This video is really long. I don't know if I'm gonna get through the whole thing because you know I like to yap like a lot, a lot, a whole lot. And this video is like 2 hours and 44 minutes. I tried to pick one that was shorter, but I couldn't find one that was like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So we'll see. We'll see how much of this I get through tonight. How are you, Sai? Good to see ya. Hey Blue, how you doing? I forgot what this video is called already. Oh, it says right here. 50 plus unsolved mysteries of the world and universe that cannot be explained by I think it's Top 5S. I believe. Maybe it's Nuke's top. I don't know. I'm really terrible. You're alright now? Good to see you. Alright, I guess I'll get started then. We'll see how this goes. I don't know if these are just spooky videos or just mysteries or what, but I like both, so let's watch them. Let me know if the volume's loud enough or not loud enough. Did I turn captions on? Maybe. Sometimes the captions say crazy stuff though. Let me move my mouse behind my body so it's not in the way.
The Haunted Attic. Reddit user Digsaw recalled how he moved into a one-bedroom apartment in a 1930s building in Melbourne, Australia. After a couple of months, Diggs came home one day to find a wooden board on the floor broken into two pieces. It was at least an inch thick and had been used to cover a hole in the bathroom ceiling, which led to a small attic space. Extremely afraid that someone was up there, Diggs was hoping that the landlord had arranged to have some work done. Diggs emailed photos to the landlord and was asked to call her straight away. She said she wasn't doing any work in the attic and her last two tenants had the same problem with the bathroom ceiling. She replaced the board. A month later, as Diggs lay in bed, he was awoken at 4 AM with a horrible feeling. There was a noise from up in the attic of something being dragged. There was definitely something up there. Diggs turned on the light and after plucking up enough courage went into the bathroom. He found the new board there on the floor broken in two. But there was something else, the sound of children whispering. The same.
No. Nah. Right off the bat, nope. I'd be calling the cops and saying there's probably someone in my attic freaking out. How did he just go back to sleep after the first time? What the heck? Dang, Sai, 65 stream streak? You deserve all 450 of those sugar cubes. You earned them.
Same phrase was being repeated over and over again. It's your turn. It's your turn. Terrified, Diggs turned on every light and watched TV to calm down, but his pet budgie Dexter, who was kept in the kitchen, began squawking. Stressed out, Diggs went outside to sit in the car and chill out until the sun came up. On returning to the apartment, Dexter was missing from his cage. Diggs found him in the toilet bowl, splashing around for dear life. After washing him and drying him, Diggs rang the landlord. "Oh wow," she said, "you heard the whispering too." Diggs stayed in the apartment for over a year and heard the whispering several times. After moving out, the landlord rang to say that the new tenants would really like to speak to Diggs about the freaky things that were happening in the apartment.
Oh my god, cow game. Yep. That's where the story ends. He just stayed for a year in his haunted apartment and then just moved out after his bird almost got drowned by a ghost or whatever. Did he ever look in the attic? Like, did he stick his head in the attic? Make sure there wasn't like just a person living there? Being creepy? Because that's what I would think first. Before ghosts, I would assume that someone had broken in and is living in my attic. Which thankfully my attic is like crawl space only and you can only access it from like one spot in my house, so not easy to get to. I don't think that would ever happen to me. Maybe a critter, but not a person. Oh, I should knock on wood. Okay. Next story.
Number 17, The Room of Terror. Close to the botanical gardens in a charming area of Edinburgh, Scotland, was a neat little row of houses. Very early in the 20th century, a couple bought number 17. For some unknown reason, the house had been empty for several years, and the enterprising couple were able to bag themselves a bargain with the hope of turning the attractive property into a boarding house. Once they had moved in, it wasn't long before the couple noticed that there was a strange and unpleasant atmosphere in one of the attic rooms. No one wanted to even enter the chamber, let alone stay there. It always felt as though someone or something was in the room, watching. One young girl, who was working as the housekeeper, entered the attic, only to come running straight back out again, screaming and crying hysterically. She passed out from the shock of the experience, and once she had been revived, no amount of coaxing could persuade her to explain what it was that she had been so terrified by. Not long after, word spread around the city about the goings-on at number 17, or the boarding house, as it became known. Students from Edinburgh University began to dare one another to go and stay there. One of these students was a young man named Andrew Muir. He was highly religious, but also interested in the spiritual side of matters. Andrew approached the owners of the house and offered to spend a night in the attic room in order to carry out a controlled experiment. Rumours about the house had spread throughout Edinburgh, and the owners were losing business as no one wanted to lodge at a haunted house.
Seriously? People love to stay at haunted places. If anything, I would think they'd make more money. Like, isn't that a whole thing? Like, people go to, like, inns particularly because they're haunted, or especially because they're haunted?
So they were delighted by Andrew's offer. It meant they could finally put an end to the affair. They gave Andrew a bell, and he was told that if he saw or heard anything unusual, that he should immediately ring the bell. The residents of number 17 bade Andrew good night and good luck before retiring to bed. Andrew was left alone to carry out his vigil in the uninviting attic room. It was during the early hours of the morning that the noise of the bell being frantically rung and a piercing scream of horror ripped through the silence. Everybody jumped from their beds and rushed upstairs to the attic to find out what was causing all of the commotion. The door was flung open to find the body of Andrew laying dead on the floor, the bell at his side. A look of wretched terror was on.
How dare you? Just kidding. I'll stretch. I've only been streaming 9 minutes though. Alright, I'll stretch. You're right. I need it. I should stretch. I'm stretching. You can't tell, but I am. My VTuber just went back to the reset setting because I was out of the frame. Hi, Snotty. Welcome, welcome. Don't care? Dang. Alright. How are you? I'm just watching some spooky YouTube videos today. Hey, Stell. How are you? I never know who's there unless you guys say something. I never know. Hi, hi, hi. Doing good. Glad to hear it. Oh, goodness. Thanks for coming in. Making me stretch before I've even hit 10 minutes. Oh, now I hit 10 minutes. Never mind.
On his face. It would seem that the poor lad had seen something so terrifying that it had literally frightened him to death. The attic room was never used again, and the whole row of houses was demolished some 20 years later.
Okay, but how did he die? They didn't even say how he died. Like, was he so scared he died? Which doesn't make sense because he's like a young college student. We doing reacts? Yeah. I do react sometimes when I'm too lazy to play a game. Or I'm a little tired, I do a react instead. Just kind of hang out and watch spooky videos. My thing. Same. We're on number 3 out of like 60 or something.
The boy with no eyes. Another Reddit user, named Commendo4, told a tale about his meeting with a spectral boy. When he was about 10, he was awoken in the middle of the night by the opening of his bedroom door. As he lay there, he felt someone sit down on his bed beside him. He thought that it was his mother, as he felt the bed sink down under the person's weight and something touching his leg. But when he opened his eyes, it wasn't his mother, it was a boy, and there were empty black sockets where his eyes should have been. The boy was about Commendo's own age, and he held out his hand, which held a small box.
Okay. I was gonna say, this is a very, interesting shadow they've chosen to put on screen. slowly getting larger. But I think it's supposed to be a hand. I paused it at a really weird spot.
Although he was shocked,
Yeah, there's 6
Commendo reached
fingers.
out to take it, but the apparition pulled it back.
My bad.
Again, Commendo reached for the box and said, "Give
Oh
it." Then he blinked, and the boy had gone when he opened his eyes, but the imprint of where he had been seated on the bed still remained.
God.
5 years later, Komodo's girlfriend was at his house so that they could study together. Whilst waiting for her parents to pick her up, she fell asleep. On their arrival, Commendo woke his girlfriend up. She sat up suddenly and opened her eyes. Pointing at the corner of the room, she immediately lay down and went back to sleep. Commendo woke her again and told her what she had done. She explained that she had seen a little boy up on the wall like Spider-Man staring at me with no eyes. Commendo was completely freaked out and told her the story of his meeting with the boy when he was younger. Another 5 years later, Commendo and his girlfriend were still a couple.
Okay, wait, so when he was 10, the little ghost boy sat on the bed and touched his leg and then tried to reach out for him. And then 5 years later, when he was 15, and he had apparently his girlfriend. I wasn't even allowed to have boys in my room when I was 15, by the way, let alone upstairs of the house. They were not allowed to go up past the stairs. But anyway, she's sleeping in his bed at 15. I'm assuming she's the same age. Little ghost boy haunt her, and then another 5 years pass. I mean, this ghost is very consistent. He's on a schedule. We feeling spooky tonight? I'm feeling spooky every night, Snotty. Yeah, why you yelling at me, man? Dang. But yeah. I mostly play horror games. Okay, I do cozy games occasionally too. But I tend to pick games that look cozy and then they end up being kind of twisted, so I don't know. I don't know what that says about me. He yells a lot. Noted. I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, this ghost seems pretty consistent. At least, he knows he's just gonna get scared once and then another 5 years will go by. So, not so bad actually if you're gonna be haunted.
And they also had a 2-year-old little girl together. They lived at Commendo's parents' house in his old room. His daughter started to wake up at the same time every night and began talking. When Commendo asked who she was talking to, she said it was a nice little
Valid, Stell, valid.
boy who was lost and looking for his mummy. The ghostly visitations continued until the family were able to get a house of their own.
Oh gosh dang it, an ad because I won't pay for YouTube. Let me mute it. What is... Oh, it's one of those games. I don't like it. Have you ever played puppet combo games? No, I haven't. What are those? What? Oh, are you talking to Stell? I thought you were talking to me. That's where it ends? These ones all end on like a cliffhanger. If you don't get ad blocker, I don't... Honestly, I haven't even thought about that, Snotty. I'm gonna be honest. Never even crossed my mind to get ad blocker. I usually just mute it. When you have the funds, you should try Nun Massacre. Is that on Steam? Let me write that down. I'll forget it, and then I'll have to rewatch this VOD, which I should be watching my own VODs anyway. I don't know where my pen is. Oh, here it is. Never mind. Sorry, I got dramatic. I apologize. Nun Massacre. I'm glad you spelled that so I don't have to. None I can spell. Alright. But yeah, all these videos end on like a cliffhanger. It's so terrifying to play. Did you beat it? Have you played it then, Snotty? Is it co-op or is it single player?
Spirit creatures. One night during the 1960s, 2 men were travelling back along the A75 road by car to Annan in Scotland one night. It was late and the road was very quiet. About 10 miles out, the driver noticed an old woman waving frantically.
Top 5 in spelling bee? I was actually a really excellent speller also in elementary school. Like, top of my class. It's single player. They should draw up a co-op puppet combo game. That would be so heat. You lying? Wow, Snotty. I wasn't. I actually was really good at spelling. And then I got dumber as I got older, I guess. I don't know. I think when you become an adult, you have so many things on your brain. Your brain has to let go of things that aren't important, like the English language.
Could be seen clearly in the headlights and was standing in the centre of the road. Just as the driver was about to swerve to avoid hitting her and knocking her down, she vanished. The two men were then stunned to see several figures emerging from out of the dark and rushing directly towards the car. These figures seemed to be mostly animals of all kinds: dogs, cats, cattle. Some even seemed to be unrecognizable and fantastical. At the center of this menagerie, there appeared the shape of an old man. His long white hair flowed out behind him as he ran, and
You had me scared there for a second, Snotty. I literally was going through my brain. What word is he going to ask me? How should I spell it? Should I sound it out? Should I go based on the Latin root word? It's a spell, honey, instead of spelling bee. Dude, there's this spelling bee game on Roblox, right? Oh, I've seen that. I think I've seen Queso playing it. Nah, that's not for me. I know I'm not that smart. Not maybe like back when I was in school, but not no more. And my was let me try the hardest difficulty. Oh, I bet you got owned. Dog. Nah, even I know. No. Couldn't last a single round. Dang. Yeah, I saw I'm pretty sure I watched Queso play that like on his YouTube video, and he did the same thing. He did like one or two of the easy rounds and then was like passing them super easy, so he thought he would go to the hardest one. Nah. Immediately got booted from it. Failed real bad. You saw Queso play? That's how you knew about it? Yeah. Nope. Never in my life. Sal, didn't you play a game where you have to like spell or something? Or you get taken out? Didn't I watch you play that one time?
his mouth was wide open in a silent scream. The driver swerved right
Oh no, it was a typing game, huh? A typing game.
and left across the road, trying to avoid the strange creatures, and realised that none of them were actually touching the car. Was he just imagining it all? Glancing at his passenger, who he could see was equally terrified, made him realise that he was not hallucinating. Suddenly the temperature in the car plummeted, and the driver felt himself losing control of the steering wheel. Something was trying to take over the driving. Despite the cold, both men felt as though they were suffocating. As the passenger wound down his window, from outside the men could hear ominous sounds
Oh my god, Stel, thank you for asking. I also don't know what it is, but I didn't want to ask. You're a real one.
of cackling and shrieking. The driver stopped the car, and it began to rock from side to side quite violently. Unable to stand it any longer, they both opened their car doors and got out. Everything was still. All they could hear was the rustling of the wind through the trees, and the gasping of their own panicked breathing. Once they had calmed down, and wanting desperately to get home, the two men got back in the car. But no sooner had the driver started the engine than the animals returned, swarming the vehicle.
The heck, a bunch of woodland creatures are attacking his vehicle? Is he a Disney princess? Why are they scared? They're critters. Dressed to impress? Oh, I've played it, but I no longer play Roblox. Oh, I still play Roblox sometimes. That's what I started with when I first started streaming. It was just Roblox games. That's how I got like Sai and Bob and quite a few of my other regulars. They came from watching me play Roblox. I played Dress to Impress one time for a stream, but it was not for me. I mostly play horror games in Roblox. Or like chained together Roblox version, that kind of stuff. You loved it? What? I mean, to Snotty, you said my name was up. You really liked Why? You hate Dress to Impress? Why? I actually did good. I only played it that one time for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes for one stream. And I actually ranked in the top 3 every single time. So I will say I am good at it. But it was like, I like scary games. I got bored of it real fast. Oh, yeah. See? I just tried it because it was like on my For You page or whatever on Roblox one time. You love anything creative? I like games with like a specific goal, like story-driven games. Me and Hunni twins.
Determined to get through them, that the driver pressed
Forgot I
on,
was watching a
despite
video.
the
My
strange
bad.
and scary noises. Getting nearer to home, they were comforted to see the headlights of another vehicle on the road. As they drew nearer though, they realised that the large van wasn't moving and they were going to crash straight into it. The driver pressed down hard on the brakes, but it refused to work. Both men held their breath as they waited for impact, but the van just disappeared into thin air, along with the animals and the old man. Everything was quiet and the road was empty. Exhausted from their ghostly encounter, the two men quickly made their way home.
Did they actually see a van, or did they see headlights and just assume it was another vehicle? Because maybe it was just their lights reflecting off something. That's why I play House Flipper. Oh, I have House Flipper. I've never played it though. I got it when it was on like sale one time on Steam, so it's just sitting there waiting for me to play. But I wasn't sure if it would make for like good stream or not, or if it's just something I want to play in my off time. If I were to hop on the doors piece, you think you could carry me type beat? Wait, what? Doors? In Roblox, you mean? Just regular doors? You can't really carry somebody indoors though. If you die, you're just dead and your teammate goes on without you. I've made it almost to the end, like level 90. Oh my gosh, what level did I make it to? It was like 93 or 94, and then I got caught at the very end. It was so annoying. Nah, that's valid. Sometimes I hop on car dealership tycoon. You never played? Oh my god, thank you for the head pat. That was a little hard, but thank you. I appreciate it. It's a relaxing game, and I listen to Stephanie Sue as I play it. Ah, nice. Not true, you can res your team. Can you, Snotty? I didn't know that. I'm back, head pats. Thank you, Sai. I beat the hotel. I still haven't beat it. When I first started Roblox, I played it like 3 or 4 times, and then I got to, like I said, like level 93 or 4 or something. And then I got snapped up. Got snapped up real good. And then I haven't played it since then. I also played that game Pressure, which was crazy hard, like way harder than Doors, but very similar. But not underground tunnels or the outside. That's for demons or something. I played the outside one a little bit too when it first came out. I didn't get very far in that one either. But I have beat Rainbow Friends and Scary Sushi, all the chapters. At least what's out right now. Hopefully they make some more.
I use the
Oh
exact
my
same
god. No ad. There we go.
The basement. This
Oh,
story
this
was
is so
told by
bright.
Manny from the Canadian podcast No Inner Monologue, which is a great listen.
Eyes.
When he was a young boy, his family didn't have a lot of money, so along with his uncle, they took on extra work to make ends meet. They worked the night shift together, cleaning the Keg Steakhouse restaurant near to the airport in Toronto. Because his parents didn't have anyone to look after him, while they were at work, they often took him with them. The job was quite easy, and it was well paid, but an incident that occurred one night, along with other supernatural occurrences, meant Manny's parents soon quit. Manny, who was about 11 at the time, and his uncle's girlfriend was sitting at a table near the bar. It was very early in the morning, around 3:30 AM. All of the lights were on, and Manny could hear his father and his uncle talking together in the distance about a recent soccer game.
Whoops. I was in the wrong screen, my god. I was in my OBS. Did the lightning one got you outside? I think the gardener got me once outside, and you know those like monoliths that jump? One of those got me one time when I played outside.
Manny and his uncle's girlfriend were just passing the time with general chit-chat, when, as usually happened, they both fell asleep. Suddenly they were awoken by Manny's uncle. "Quick, wake up," he said. "We need to get to the basement. Your mum needs help moving some stuff. Hurry, it's urgent." The pair quickly got up and went to gather their things. When Manny looked up, his uncle was a good 20 feet away when he shouted back, "You have to hurry, it's urgent." They were both a bit freaked out by how insistent he was being. By now, Manny's uncle had disappeared from view. They walked in the direction that he had gone, so that they could follow him to the basement, but as they turned the corner of the corridor, they bumped into him coming in the opposite direction. He looked absolutely horrified to see them. Manny asked, "What's going on? Where's the emergency?" His uncle replied, "You two, your dad yelled that you were locked in the basement and he couldn't open up the door. He told me to go to the car and get the crowbar to force it open." "No," Manny said. "You just woke us up and told us to follow you to the basement because Mum needed some help." "That's impossible," said Manny's uncle. "Your dad and I both heard you yelling for help in the basement as we went past." Then Manny's dad arrived, wondering where his brother was with the crowbar. When he saw Manny and his brother's girlfriend, he went mad at them, telling them, "That's not funny, trying to scare us like that." He asked, "How did you get out?" They explained what had happened, and the four of them were standing in the corridor looking puzzled. When Manny's mother came running over, she was upset and said that there was someone trapped inside the basement and that they needed help to get out. You can imagine the pure terror as everyone realized that there was someone or something trying to split up the family and lure each one of them down into the basement. The family got out of their
I mean, it doesn't sound like it was trying to like split up the family. It literally tried to get all of them to the basement. It's trying to bring them together. That's kind of heartwarming, except, you know, who knows? It's probably gonna eat them in the basement or something, but at least they would have been together. I think I just didn't know the lightning dude. I think I remember what to do with the plant. Yeah, the plant things you just grab and put them back in the ground, I think, right? Yeah, to possess them in the basement, something like that. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what demons do. But the plants and lightning are the only two I really saw. I didn't make it. Yeah, I only played the garden one once, I think, maybe twice, but not for very long.
as quickly as they could, and after a couple more frightening and unexplained incidents, Manny's mum, dad and uncle stopped working at the restaurant.
I would just think keep working at the restaurant, just don't go in the basement. Avoid the basement, you're fine.
Andrew Mackey's poltergeist. Mackey was a farmer in Kirkwood, Brightshire.
He sounds traumatized. I've seen everything.
What began one winter's night in February 1695 became known as one of the most violent episodes of poltergeist infestation on record, and terrorised both the Mackey family and their Scottish community. The story was documented in detail by the Reverend Andrew Telfair, the local vicar. On a February night, Mackey went to his barn to check on his cattle, as usual, but found all the livestock running around loose. Bewildered, he tied them back up carefully before going to bed.
Cows escaped?
The next night he found them untied once again, but the following morning, one of the cows was suspended from the roof of the cattle shed by its rope. Then things began to happen in the Mackey house. A basket of peat for the fire appeared inside the house, upturned and piled up in a heap. It had also been set alight. If the smell of smoke had not awakened the family, there could have been a disaster. In March, the house was showered by a barrage of stones. It started with small pebbles, seeming to appear from nowhere and hitting the building, but the stones soon increased both in number and in size. Not only was the house hit, but also the occupants of the family. Inside, kitchen tools, bed covers and furniture moved on their own. A figure appeared in the corner of the room, huddled in a blanket, which scared the life out of the children.
Oh my god, that reminds me, one time I was asleep in bed and I like woke up. I don't know why, but I woke up just briefly, you know, like people do sometimes, I guess. I assume. But I woke up, opened my eyes for just a few seconds, and I keep my room, I have like blackout curtains, so it's pretty dark, but I have some electronics in the room and, you know, they have like little lights on them or whatever. But there's slight light in my room. And anyway, I saw the silhouette of what I thought was a man standing in like the doorway of my bedroom. And my first thought was just like, man, am I about to get murdered? I really want to sleep more. And I just went back to sleep. But yeah, apparently that's what I'll do. Go to sleep. I'm like, whatever. It wasn't a man, by the way. It was my robe hanging on the back of the other door because I have like double doors into my room. But I didn't know that until the morning when I was like, oh yeah, did someone break in last night? Was someone staring at me while I was sleeping? Nah, it's just my robe.
When someone was brave enough to pull back the cover, it turned out to be an upturned stool. Outside, the stones became even bigger, and members of the family, along with anyone who came to call, were black and blue with bruising. There was a continual onslaught of banging, knocking, and door slamming. In April, 2 ministers prayed with the family, which made things worse. They were beaten by sticks held by invisible hands, and random fires began to break out. Some bones were found on the property and taken away for burial, but the trouble only increased. Prayers went on for 3 days, with more fires spontaneously occurring.
When I was little, I had an old man at the end of my bed carving a wood block and stared at me. Lived in a haunted. Oh my god, still. Maybe he was making a toy or something nice. that all he did though? He just sat there and kind of just, or not stat. I don't know if he was standing or sitting, but just kind of carved a piece of wood and stared at you. What the heck? That's creepy. Sitting? I don't know. That's freaky though. Oh my god. Yeah, mine was just a robe. That's what I tell myself.
and stones crashing through the roof. It was a good 2 weeks later when the family experienced the presence of a large black entity in the barn, which, after terrifying the Mackeys, just seemed to dissipate, and then everything returned to normal. No one ever found out what it was that tormented the Mackey family for 3 horrifying months in 1695.
1695? I'm surprised they didn't think it was like witches or something and like go on a hunt. My god. And it was for 3 months, so they just got harassed by like a demon or something for 3 months and then it just bounced. It was like, I'm bored of the Mackeys. Time to move on to the Hendersons. Oh god.
You're trapped by a meaningless
At least they're fast. I can skip it like
Shadow
after 2
Man.
or 3 seconds.
We'll finish with the story of security guard Raul Arguello. He worked at the Thomas Aldafo Duco soccer stadium in Buenos Aires, Argentina in April of 2018. Someone was repeatedly opening and then slamming the dressing room door, and Raul wanted to catch the culprit in the act. He had already been down there 3 times and found no one there, so on the 4th trip, he took his mobile phone with him to record the strange goings-on.
What kind of mobile phone did he have? This is terrible quality. Is it like a Nokia from 1999?
I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to film it to show people later on, so they believe it when I tell.
Actually, did they have cameras in 1999 in phones? My first cell phone had a camera in it. That was in the, well, that was a while ago. It looked way better than this, though, my god.
Them, because this has never happened to me before. It's terrifying, Raul said. From a distance, we can hear the muffled sounds of the door being banged shut.
I didn't say did they have phones. I just did the cell phones have cameras in them? That's what I'm asking. Like video cameras. Right? Did they? Now, honey? I don't think so because it had LED screen. What? I mean, I know they had like cell phones, but cell phones didn't start out with cameras in them, did they? No, I'm pretty sure not. Oh no? Okay. Maybe he just has a crappy camera or a crappy phone. I don't know. I'm used to having an iPhone, so it looks... Honestly, sometimes the video my iPhone takes, I feel like looks higher quality than... I'm thinking about payphones. Those didn't have a camera, I'm pretty certain. Actually, hold on, okay.
But as Raul goes further down the stairs carrying his flashlight, the noise becomes deafening. Raul, who is obviously scared, picks up a metal bar before edging cautiously nearer the door. He pushes open the door and bursts in, declaring, "See, no one is there." As he spins around the room, we can see a shadowy figure which skitters across the screen before disappearing into the wall.
Where? I don't see anything, it's all blurry. It all looks like a shadowy figure. I guess this is what it said, 26 years old. First ever camera phone had a 0.11 MP sensor. Yes, the first commercial camera phone, the Kyocera visual phone VP210, was released in Japan in May 1999. Oh, of course, Japan. They're always up there with the tech. Nah, the first cell phone made did not have a camera from what I looked up, but still got that, yeah. I've never even heard of a Kyocera. I wonder what was the first one in America that had a camera in it.
Raul didn't see the Shadow Man at the time, and it wasn't until he watched the video back later
I didn't
that
see
he
the
saw
Shadow
the
Man
horrifying
either.
presence. Take a look.
I'm looking.
La puta que te parió. Concha de la lora. La concha de la lora.
Where?
Pero como mierda puede ser que no haya nada. Ay.
I need a red circle or
انت
something.
نسيت اوي.
Raoul was supposedly so upset by the incident that he quit his job and found another security job elsewhere. And I think you'll agree that was probably the best decision.
The first widely available camera phone in the United States was the Sanyo SCP-5300, released by Sprint in November 2002 for approximately $400. Actually, $400 is pretty cheap compared to iPhones. Like, I'm still using one of, like, a little bit of an older iPhone. Because I don't want to pay, like, what is it, like 1600 or something crazy if I want a good memory. I don't even know. It's crazy, though. Interesting. But I don't think it's oh, okay, yeah, 400 in 2002 would be a lot more now. That's true. Inflation. Oh. I'll just keep my oldish iPhone.
Doris Bither. Sadly,
Till
Doris
it
didn't have the best
dies.
childhood. She grew up in an abusive home in the
Oh.
Midwest of America. Her parents were alcoholics, and as is often the case with neglected children, Doris grew into a rebellious teenager. At the age of 10, the family moved to California, and it was there that Doris became fascinated with the paranormal. She started to drink and take drugs, as well as taking part in seances and using an Ouija board. Doris was thrown out of the family home and disowned by her parents. What followed was a spat of failed and often abusive relationships. In 1974, at the age of 33, Doris walked away as a single mother with 4 children from 4 different fathers. Her 3 sons were aged 16, 13 and 10, and her daughter was 6 when they moved into a rented house on Braddock Avenue in Culver City, California.
Oh my god. Is that a zombie? Oh, it's one of those games. She's in a fish tank? What happened to her leg? Oh, I should skip this. I get
But
ads
just
get
after
me.
the family arrived, a strange
They be
elderly
getting
woman
me.
knocked at their door. She told Doris, "You need to get out. I used to live here in this old house, back when it was just a farm and I was a little girl. There is something very evil here. The place is haunted and you need to get out." With no more explanation than that, she turned and walked away. It was after this chilling message that the infestation period began. There were creaking noises in the middle of the night when everyone was in bed. There were strong smells of body odor, disembodied voices and footsteps.
She's rubbing too much on his back. It's weird. I think that's true. It was a little vigorous. Oh my god. That is true. And then they're saying there's creaking at night, but my house also makes weird creaking sounds at night, but it's old. Like, I swear to you, sometimes, like, when the wind blows really hard, I can hear it through my chimney. Even though I have, like, what is it? I don't even know what it's called, but, like, it's the little flap thing that you close and open to let the smoke in and out. I'll have it closed, but you can still hear the wind, like, rattling inside the chimney. And then you can hear it, like, I think in my attic, too. I don't know, but it sounds like something's happening in my attic whenever there's a storm. You can hear it in your wall. So can I. Whoever built my house has built it cheaply or something. I don't know. It needs more insulation or something. They didn't build this house to last, is what I think.
Then the poltergeist activity began. Lights were flicked on and off, and objects such as a candelabra and a fuse box, which was ripped from the wall.
She has a candelabra? What the heck? I want one of those. They're so fancy. It makes me think of Beauty and the Beast. Mine is a trailer. Wait, mine's a trailer, and so def not built to last. True, but yours can be moved around, which is nice. Mine can't be moved, I'm pretty certain. I think it'll fall apart.
Were thrown directly at Doris. Soon apparitions started to form in the house. They were just shadows to begin with, but then began to form into human shapes that would sit in the corner of the room and just watch. Shortly after the first attack occurred, whatever was in the house began to bite, slap and punch Doris. Then things began to escalate, and Doris claimed that she was held down by 2 male spirits, whilst the others sexually assaulted her.
What the heck?
Her eldest son Brian verified the attack, which he heard from the next room. He also saw the bruising on her body and in her thighs. He said there were times when he could see and hear his mother being slapped, picked up and thrown. Other family members, neighbors, and friends
Why the heck didn't she run off? Like, after that, I mean. And if he heard it, how come he didn't come in the... I mean, I guess what's he gonna do? Fight the ghost? I don't know. Maybe. If it can slap her, maybe he could slap it. He didn't even try, but you know, he's a child. My god, nah, I'd be out. I would have run out. With my children, I mean. Not alone. That would be terrible as a mother to do.
also reported seeing objects being thrown around the home and experiencing biting and scratching from an
Especially since she has a daughter. My god. Get that girl out.
unseen force, even during the day. Doris was in Hunter's bookstore near the UCLA campus when she overheard a conversation between Dr. Barry Taff and Kerry Gaynor, who were two parapsychologists from the university. They were discussing their research. Doris approached them and asked for their help. Intrigued, the research team spent 3 months in the house on Braddock Avenue. On arrival, they first noticed the overwhelming smell of rotting flesh. It was the middle of August, and although the rest of the house was warm, Doris's bedroom was noticeably icy cold. There was no air conditioning in the house, so this could not be explained. Some team members reported seeing bruises and bite marks spontaneously appear on Doris's body. After encouraging Doris to berate the spirits, they saw intense orb activity with bright flashing lights all around her. Then they saw a swirling green mist that seemed to be trying to manifest into the upper torso of a man before vanishing. Although this was not caught on film, they were able to capture a photograph of Doris, surrounded by a strange arc of light. Doris shared her story with the author Frank De Filita, who wrote the book The Entity based on her experiences.
Oh, there's a book? I might have to get that and read it. When I was in high school, other than reading romance books, I also read a ton of like paranormal true stories, you know, like they're supposed to be nonfiction of people's stories with paranormal stuff or haunted houses and things. I've always been interested in that kind of thing. The Entity, it's based on her story, but does that mean it's like as factual as can be to her story? I wonder, or if it's just like when you see a movie and it says based on, but then the movie's like completely different from the original story.
This was later turned into the 1982 film with the same name.
There's a movie? What? Let me write this down. I'm gonna watch the movie. And then I might read the book. The Entity. What do you say? 1982? Write that down. I got it. Okay. Sorry. Oh, I was just a Harry Potter fan in the cage about the Holocaust. Oh, when you were in high school? Yeah, I read like Anne Rice in high school. I probably shouldn't have been reading, but I did. Yep. And Joan D. Vinge, I read some of her books too, her books are like science fiction though.
The family moved to Carson without telling Gaynor and Taff, although they were able to track them down. With De Filetti's help, paranormal activity had begun just weeks after they moved in, and had spread to the neighbouring houses on either side as well.
What?
It was at this new home that Dr. Taff was able to make a tape recording of footsteps and deep breathing from some unknown source, just before a vase was thrown across the room. Then the mic shut off on its own. Doris and her family moved again to San Bernardino and then to Texas. This time, the contact between herself, Taff and Gaynor ended. She did keep in touch with De Filita though, and told him that the activity continued wherever she went. Doris Bither died in 1995 of heart failure, aged 58. Despite there being audio and photographic evidence, as well as several witnesses, the Entity case has never been solved.
Well, I mean, how would they solve it? It's a haunting. And it sounds like she was haunted specifically, not the house that she was living in. Or maybe the entity was in the house and attached itself to her and then followed her. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Oh my god. This is where he shoves her out. And his daughter, he's just like, nah, I don't want to be a husband or dad anymore. I'm gonna date this stewardess now. Because I'm trash. Sorry, I've seen that one a couple times. Or I guess they thought it was something else, yeah.
The first time Jacqueline Caddo heard the wolf whistle was in February of 1950. Jacqueline was just 18 and lived in
The first time I heard a wolf whistle was when I was like 13, I want to say, or 12. I don't know why it's called investigations when there's nothing really to solve. Yeah, I don't know. Because, I mean, how would you even solve it? Even if you get a ton of evidence, you still, like, I mean, unless there's like a Ghostbusters type invention where you can physically trap a spirit and then make it like manifest for people to visually see. And even then, people probably wouldn't believe it. Like, I don't know how you would solve paranormal activity cases, right? There's no way to back up. Yeah, no matter what, even if you get real footage or photos or like eyewitness accounts or whatever, there's just nobody's gonna believe it. Just because all of that can be faked so easy nowadays, it just makes it impossible, even if it's true.
Paradis, Louisiana. Every night she would hear the whistler from beneath her bedroom window. Her family searched the gardens and the nearby street, but were unable to see the mysterious stalker. Things then went from bad to worse when Jacqueline became engaged to State Trooper Herbert Balsam. Now, what had started as wolf whistling became the tune of the funeral march, followed by a blood-curdling moan. Those witnesses who heard the moan were said to be terrified. The police became involved, but could find nothing. Jacqueline soon became too scared to sleep in her own bed.
I bet the police only became involved because she was engaged to a man in law enforcement. Otherwise, they would have been like, "Oh, you're being stalked. Okay, well, don't let him in your house. Call us if he actually murders you."
So she went to stay with relatives, but the whistler followed. Eventually, she went to stay at her fiance's house, in the hope that him being a state trooper would scare the stalker off. Instead, the whistler called Jacqueline's mother and left a message. "Tell Jackie I know she's at Herbert's house," he said. Jacqueline also began to receive threats on the telephone when she was told by the whistler that he would go to her house and stick her with a knife
My
if she went
God.
ahead with the marriage. Jackie's mother was beside herself with worry. She said, "We can't get away from him. I don't know when we will get a peaceful night's sleep."
Excited villagers watch for phantom whistler terrorizing young bride-to-be. Funeral dirge whistler puts fear in girl. It sounds like a real person. It does not sound like a ghost. I mean, he talked on the phone to her mother. He just sounds like an actual stalker, which is probably more scary. Why excited? I don't know. Isn't that kind of terrible? Like they're just so bored in their lives, they're enjoying the fact that this poor woman is being stalked and terrorized in her own home and in her fiance's home.
The local papers heard about the story and it became big news in the area. People everywhere were talking about the phantom whistler that was plaguing Jackie and her loved ones. The police tried desperately to find out who the perpetrator was, but were unable to find any evidence of an intruder or any suspects. The sheriff's department even began to believe that the whole thing was an elaborate hoax, but the calls continued with the phantom whistler telling Jacqueline's mother, "I'll kill her, I'll stick a knife in her, your daughter will never marry Herbert." The stalking continued, and at one point Jacqueline collapsed because of the stress, when she and other witnesses heard the strange whistling while she was at work. Despite everything, the couple were determined to go through with the wedding, and on the 1st of October 1950, Herbert Balsam and Jacqueline Chatter were married. The wedding went ahead at the Holy Rosary Church without incident. After the ceremony, all threats and whistling ceased. The sheriff suddenly announced that he had solved the case, although he would not divulge who the culprit was, saying that he did not want to embarrass the persons involved.
What?
So who was the phantom whistler? Was he a joker or a dangerous stalker? Could he have attended the wedding, perhaps waiting for the right moment to carry out his threat? Was he even real? Some believe that Jacqueline is not the only woman that this has happened to, and that the phantom whistler is actually a supernatural being or malevolent spirit simply sent to torment people in love.
Nah, to any of that. He's still excited to whistle. He's too. If this, what did they say? The sheriff figured out who was doing it, and then they stopped doing it when she actually got married, which means they just kind of gave up. Why would he not say the name of the person who was terrorizing her? You know what I mean? Like, what the heck? Why protect this person so he can just go and like harass somebody else next?
Netta Fornario.
Oh god.
Nora Emily Editha Fornario was born in Cairo, Egypt in 1897.
Probably.
After her mother's death, she was brought up by her wealthy maternal grandfather. She was described as being of Mediterranean descent, half English. Her mother was born in Manchester, England, and half Italian. Her father was a doctor from Italy. She was also said to be highly intelligent. Netta, as she preferred to be called, attended a ladies' college in Eastbourne. As a teenager, she spent some time in Italy, and on her return to England, she became involved with the ceremonial magician Dion Fortune, and became a member of the Alpha and Omega Temple, a secret occult society and a branch of the Golden Dawn.
Okay, she sounds kind of cool, I'm gonna be honest. Going to like a... Probably... Wait, oh yeah, I read that. This picture doesn't look that cool.
Netta
rebellious.
believed that she could heal people. She dabbled in mystical practices such as tarot reading, ritual magic, and telepathy. The small island of Iona lies off the west coast of Scotland. It has long been known as a religious and mysterious location. It is said to be a thin place, an area of energy where the veil between this world and the next is particularly fragile. Saint Columba built a monastery there in 563, and it was believed that the Book of Kells was crafted there. Columba banished all cows and women from the island.
Did he just say Colombia banished all cows and women from the island? Why? What did cows do? What did women do? Do they not like cheeseburgers and women? What the heck? That is right? What the heck? And how do you banish cows? Do they like put them all on a boat and tell them that they're exiled now?
Stating, where there is a cow, there is a woman, and where there is a woman, there is mischief.
What?
Netta became fascinated by a story about the small Hebridean island.
Super weird.
In the story, the monks had burned a fairy near Loch Staonig, who they had mistaken for a woman. Iona also has connections to the Druids and is supposedly inhabited with many ghosts, as well as sea fairies and other elementals.
What's a sea fairy? I need to research fairies. I know like most of them aren't nice or sweet. Like people have this idea because of Tinkerbell that they're nice, but they're actually kind of pretty mischievous and kind of evil.
In the late summer of 1929, Netta, who was now 33, left her home in London and arrived on the island looking for accommodation. She found lodgings with a woman called Mrs. McRae. During the day, Netta could be seen wandering around the island, roaming the beaches and moorland. At night, she would try and reach the spirits by going into a trance. She spent many months on Iona, until late autumn, when she sent a letter to her housekeeper back in London, saying that she would be out of touch for a while, because she had a terrible case of healing. Whether the healing was for herself or another person is unknown. On Sunday, November 17th, Netta began to frantically pack. She told Mrs. McRae that she had to go back to London because several people were telepathically attacking her. The ferry service did not run on a Sunday, so Netta was forced to wait. Later, after calming down,
I don't know because I thought sea stuff was just sirens. Well, there's like sirens, right? But then there's, oh my god, what do they call it? In Scottish lore? They're like horses, beautiful water horses, and you get close to them, they lead you into the water, grab you with their teeth, and drown you. I forget what they're called, but there's quite a few different like cryptids that are based in the ocean, but I've never heard of sea fairies. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I used to, well, I still kind of am, but I used to be super into cryptids when I was a teenager. I've literally been on like the Wikipedia page for cryptids and gone through every single one listed. I used to read a bunch of books on it. Me either about the fairies. Maybe I'll do a watch video of like cryptids or something from around the world. One of my favorites is like a giant worm. It's like a giant worm in this dump. I forget what country it is. Maybe Colombia or Argentina or something, but it's like a giant death worm that eats trash. It doesn't really hurt people, but it's huge. Kind of like, oh, you know that movie Tremors? Kind of like that.
she told Miss McRae that she had changed her mind and would stay on Iona indefinitely.
Yeah, I like cryptid monsters.
Mrs. McRae noticed that Netta was missing. A search began, and Netta's body was found on the afternoon of Tuesday the 19th.
Ooh, she
was found lying on a ferry mound to the south of the loch. She was wearing a long black cloak, but was completely naked underneath. There were several unexplained deep scratches on her body and the soles of her feet. A large cross had been cut into the turf nearby with a dagger which was still at the scene. The local doctor, unsure of the cause of death, thought that she had probably died from exposure or heart failure. She was buried on the island at the request of her family. Stories spread across the island of strange blue lights being seen near her body, as well as a man dressed in a long black cloak. Her friend Diona believed that Netta had been murdered through a psychic attack by the leader of the Alpha and Omega.
What?
Had Netta been seen by the islanders as a witch, and had they murdered her? Had she been running away from somebody, or had her heart stopped during some sort of occult ritual?
She was 33. I somehow doubt her heart just stopped. She's probably just murdered for being a witch.
The mystery of her death is still unsolved.
Or a suspected
This
witch.
is Stop
God.
Porn Mobile.
I muted it. There we go.
Eleanor Zubin. In
28 minutes in.
1926, the Viennese Countess, Vasilko Sariki, brought a 13-year-old Romanian peasant girl to England.
Why?
The Countess claimed that she had rescued the girl, named Eleanor Zubin, from an asylum, where people from her local village had locked her away. They were afraid that she had been possessed by Dracu, the devil himself. The Countess had a deep interest in parapsychology and took Eleanor away, first to Vienna and then to the National Laboratory for Physical Research in London for a run of experiments.
Physical research?
In the 11 months before her arrival at the research centre, Eleanor had been suffering from attacks of both stigmata and poltergeist activity. The test began, and investigators concluded that markings of the stigmata appeared spontaneously on Eleanor's body, and that she was in no way responsible for making the marks.
Isn't that a movie? I feel like that's a movie, Stigmata. I don't know if I've seen it, but I feel like I've heard of that before.
The ghost girl, as she became known, was also able to move objects towards herself with just her thoughts. All of this was witnessed under test conditions. The Countess recorded over 1,070 manifestations either of stigmata or poltergeist activity when in Eleanor's presence. She saw furniture moving of its own accord and a pot of ink flying through the air before pouring its contents all over the room. During one test, a mark began growing on the girl's arm. It became worse and looked red and swollen, like the mark left by a slap or a punch, before changing into a welt, like those caused by a whip or stick. After a few minutes, the mark simply disappeared. Later, while Eleanor was playing with a toy, more injuries began to appear on her other arm and on the back of her neck. No one was near her at the time, and her own hands were being used to wind up the clockwork cat. In another instance, deep teeth marks suddenly appeared on the girl's arm. They slowly faded, but were still quite visible an hour later. Eleanor was illiterate, but began to perform automatic writing one day. She wrote in Romanian on several sheets of paper and was able to tell the laboratory secretary that her lost keys were in the pocket of her coat. In their final report, the NLPR found no deception, but concluded that Eleanor's own subconscious was the cause of her stigmata. They believed that when she was very young, the Romanian peasants in her village had witnessed her telekinesis. They were so afraid and had threatened her with all the things that Dracu would do to her. Subconsciously, her mind became obsessed with the idea of biting and whipping. If this complex could be removed, then she would no longer be troubled with her markings. The issue of her telekinetic powers was, however, more difficult. The researcher could not find any reason for the cause of her kinetic ability. They could only prove that it did actually happen. As she grew up, the supernatural activities surrounding Eleanor ceased. She returned to Romania and settled in, where she married and led a normal life.
I mean, I guess that's a happy ending, sort of. I wonder if as she grew up, the lady was less interested in her, though, because they said she was into occult stuff. Like, had an interest in occult stuff, I should say. If as she got older, there was less activity, I'd imagine she was not interested anymore, because it sounded like a rich lady who took a child from Romania for her own personal interest, and then sent her back when she was an adult, or older anyway.
Christopher Case. 35-year-old Case had everything going for him. It was April 1991, and he was an executive at a music company based in Seattle. He made decent money and was happy both with his work and home life. On a business trip to California, he met an unknown woman who took a liking to Case. He wasn't interested and politely declined her advances. The woman became very angry. She claimed to be a witch and cursed him, threatening him with impending death.
The heck?
He flew back home, but soon after, he began to ring his friends in a series of bizarre phone calls. During the calls, he sounded confused and afraid, claiming that someone was trying to get him. He said he had been cursed, and that a witch was attacking him with spells and supernatural powers. Case told one friend, "They're after me. I am very, very afraid. Extremely afraid. I could die from this." He said a witch had been cutting him during the night, and that the ends of his fingers were covered in blood and little cuts when he woke up. On April 14th, Case said he was hearing whispers in his apartment. He could see shadows moving around from the corner of his eye. He was awoken with someone's hands around his throat and felt them squeeze.
What? Tiny hand. Oh my god. It looks like the hand from the guy. Oh my god, I don't remember his name, but from Scary Movie with the strong arm or his strong hand. What the heck? I think it's a baby doll hand. Right? Like, if this came at me in the middle of the night, I wouldn't be scared of it. I'd just slap it away. It's so tiny. That guy strangle me. The heck?
Squeezing as hard as they could. His friends were worried. Case had never conveyed
it's
any
right next to
interest
my
in
head.
the paranormal before. His behaviour was erratic, and they began to worry about his mental health. And then things got worse. On
Be an
April
incubus?
17th, Chris
Ooh. Do they curse men though if men reject them? I thought they just came to them at like in their dreams or at night. Although I guess if she was, she's cursed him with herself maybe, I don't know.
Christopher didn't show up for work
It
and was
happens
not
at
answering
night?
the phone. Because of his recent behaviour, a friend called the police and asked them to check on Case.
What's the difference between an incubus and a succubus? Is it gender? 'Cause I thought succubus were female ones and incubus were male ones. One's female, one's male. Which one's which? The incubus the male one or the female one?
The door was locked and there was no answer. They found Case fully clothed, kneeling in an empty bathtub. He was dead. There was no
What?
sign of a robbery or any violence. Several crucifixes were scattered around the room, and there were 10 candles placed around the body, all burned down. There were further crosses and strange talismans throughout the apartment, as well as lines of salt laid down in geometric patterns. The autopsy found that Case had died from heart failure.
Oh,
This
okay.
seems strange.
Yeah. I was gonna say, isn't there a band called Incubus? Am I imagining that?
As Case was a young man with a healthy lifestyle. The scene of his death would seem to indicate that he was involved in some sort of ritual at exactly the same time he was hit by a heart attack. So, was he cursed and killed by witchcraft, or did he literally scare himself to death?
I think he scared himself to death, maybe. I don't know. There were that many like crucifixes and salt. Maybe he watched that show, Supernatural. He probably bought a bunch off the internet or something, had them shipped to his house, and then put them all out and scared himself to death. That's kind of weird. Why was he in the bathtub?
The unsettling case of Christopher Case remains a mystery.
Can you die of fear? Yeah, you can. A lot of rabbits die that way, actually, but yeah, people can die of that. It strains your heart. I forget, there's a hormone that gets released when you're scared, and you can, like, OD off of it, basically. You love Supernatural? I've only seen the first, like, 7 seasons of Supernatural. There's a lot. There's a lot. Yeah, it can happen. You can literally be scared to death. You've seen it all. Is it worth it to watch all the way to the end? Does it end in a satisfactory way? Like, don't tell me how it ends, but it just... Like, some of the seasons... I don't know. Some of the seasons kind of were lagging a little bit here and there. Not too bad, but it's just a big time investment. If I pick back up. Oh god. Of course I get hit with the ad. What is this game? It actually looks kind of good. Oh, no. Never mind. The season 8 is hard to get through, but it was an interesting ending. Interesting good? Maybe season 8 is where I left off. I don't remember. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but at the time I was watching it, it was on Netflix. And I know I got to at least season 7. I might have been on season 8. Maybe that's why I stopped. I don't remember. I'd probably have to go back and rewatch some episodes to see where I left off. I'm not starting at the beginning again if I go back there.
A Ouija board gone wrong.
See, I don't mess with Ouija boards. Depends on whom you are. I think the less hardcore fans will be okay with it, but we weren't. Oh. I don't know. That's kind of like Game of Thrones. I hated the ending of that show. I hated that whole last season, actually, to be honest.
In July of 2023, a truly bizarre occurrence is said to have taken place in Colombia's San Francisco.
Never watched Game of Thrones. It's actually really good. I mean, if you like fantasy shows or time period shows, which I do. I liked pretty much all of it except for that last season. And I would have been fine with the ending and everything that happened if they just... It should have been like 2 seasons with more development, I think. I do, but I never tried. Give it a try sometime. If you want, of course. It's good. Or most of it was good. I'm also watching House of the Dragon, and then I'm probably going to watch the new one that's coming out. Or I think there's like 1 or 2 episodes out, but I'm waiting. I like to binge watch, so I wait for all the episodes to be out or close to it. I forget what it's called, but it's following a knight. I cannot remember what it's called, but it's the new Game of Thrones spin-off show. Oh, are they making a series based on Fourth Wing? Maybe I'll watch that. I don't know if I'm ever going to read the books, but I'll probably watch the show. What's it going to be on? HBO, or is it going to be like CW or something like that? Fox or one of those channels.
Went to Ace's school, located in the town of Timbuktu.
Amazon? Well, Amazon has the money to make it a decent show. You think the bomb stopped reading it? It didn't have enough tanks in it, Stell. It needs to have tanks in it if you want him to read it. Or spaceships. They go pew pew pew.
Emergency services were all of a sudden inundated with convulsing children who had all been rushed into hospital from the school earlier that day. The children are reported to have been temporarily blinded as they writhed in seizure-like fits, suffering from a great deal of anxiety. Some are also reported to have fainted. What could have caused such a strange occurrence? Well, strangely enough, the last thing the children were seen doing before they were admitted to hospital was playing with an Ouija board. For those who do not know...
Why does he keep calling it a Ouija board instead of a Ouija? Is it not pronounced Ouija board? Because he keeps saying a Ouija. A Ouija. Because of the O? Is he British? He has an accent, but I wasn't really paying that much attention. Maybe that's why. But dragons, yeah. It is, but he's British like Bob. Bob's French still. He says a wee wee. But yeah. I guess they like to add extra syllables. Oh yeah.
which I can imagine is very few. Ouija boards are believed by some to be a means of contacting the dead, and the boards lined with the letters of the alphabet, as well as simple phrases such as yes and no, are typically activated with a planchette. This is a small piece of wood that the user touches whilst asking the deceased a series of questions. If a spirit is present, the planchette is said to move on its own, forming the answer to the question by moving across the letters on the board.
Hey Vamp, how are you? How you doing? I'm just watching some spooky videos today. Or mysterious slash spooky, I guess.
The children were said to be using a Ouija board in a room of the school when a young girl began convulsing.
I would be more concerned that like something like since all the children reacted to it, I would think maybe like a gas leak or I don't know, something else that would cause seizures first before the Ouija board. Although I will not have a Ouija board in my house. My mom drilled in my head to not mess with stuff like that. Whether or not I believe in it, she was like, do not tempt the devil is what she used to say. CO2, yeah. Ooh, nice. Yeah, Vamp. Are you eating something, Vamp? I feel like you might be. I have tarot, but that's all I will do. No, wait, tarot? I always say tarot, but somebody corrected me last time and said it was tarot. I think it was Unks. Yeah, I don't mess with the boardy. Yeah, no, I don't. The Magic 8 Ball is about the extent of me messing with stuff. It's tarot. Oh, I did eat that deluxe mac and cheese vamp. I finally made it. And I ate it. Not all of it, because it made way too much for me. So I put the rest away. But I would explore haunted, or I would also explore haunted places. Like, I'm not opposed to that. Or abandoned, except that I'm concerned that I would probably fall through the floor or something because it's rotten. I'm more concerned about that, like breaking my ankle for good, falling down like some rickety stairs. Nice, how was it? The mac and cheese, it was good. It was interesting squeezing the cheese instead of like the putting milk and butter with powder. You know what it tasted like though? The cheese sauce or whatever reminded me of oh my god, oh my god, what is it called? The cheese that comes in a can that you put on like crackers. Spray cheese. Is that what it's called? I don't know. It tasted like that, like the cheddar version of that, which I actually do like every once in a while. Yeah, whiz cheese. Every once in a while I'll get that and put it on Ritz crackers and eat it like I'm fancy. I don't know why, but when I was a kid I thought it was super fancy to have canned cheese crackers. And even as an adult, I'm still like, I'll make like 4 or 5 of them on a plate and be like, wow, now it's time to sit down and watch my show, be fancy. I never had that kind of cheese. You should get some. You can buy it literally anywhere. And some Ritz crackers. I like it with Ritz crackers because they have that buttery, salty flavor. You should try it, Bam. I've gotten canned cheese and I haven't gotten canned cheese in like 20 years. I don't buy it often, but I buy it like maybe once a year. Maybe. Only the cheddar variety. I haven't tried any of the other flavors. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant, that you haven't. No, I put peanut butter on my Ritz. I also put peanut butter on my Ritz crackers, but I also like cheese on them. And sometimes I'll just eat them by themselves because they're flavorful and delicious. Cream cheese. I do cream cheese on saltine crackers, or I do it on like a bagel with salami and make like a sandwich out of it. You like cookie? I've never had cookie butter. I like Nutella too, but I put Nutella on. I buy this bread that's like cinnamon swirl bread, and I put Nutella on it, and I'll eat that for like breakfast. Ooh, making me hungry. I'm making me hungry too. Goodness.
Other children rushed in to grab her to avoid further
Basically,
injury,
Biscoff
and in turn
cookie.
these children are thought to have...
But is it? Do you use it like butter, or is it a spread like peanut butter? You're eating pizza? That must be nice. Oh, it's a spread? Oh, okay, so it's like Nutella or something. You too, Vamp? Dang. I missed out on the pizza party, I guess. I'm just having a soda right now. And I'll probably eat after I'm done streaming. I don't know what I'm gonna eat though. I do have cream cheese and bagels though, so maybe I'll have that. A cream cheese bagel before bed. You have pineapple on your pizza? On purpose, Stell? Did someone do this to you? He sighed. Yes. I do not like pineapple unless it's like a pina colada flavored thing, but pineapple, the actual fruit or by itself, I do not like on purpose. Okay, I was just making sure that like you didn't order a pizza and someone like sneakily put peanut butter, put pineapple on it. You like pineapple pizza too, Sai? Oh, honey, do you play VR games? I don't have a VR thing, so no. No, I don't.
experienced the same symptoms.
Plus, I don't know how I would play a VR game as a VTuber because my face would be blocked, I'd imagine, and then the camera wouldn't work.
This had a knock-on effect on 36 different children of various ages. Staff at the school rushed in when they heard the commotion unfurling, and reportedly sprinkled the pupils with holy water while reciting a prayer.
She has a TikTok shirt. What the heck? What was this video taken? Use your PNG to. Oh, that's true. I could use my PNG tuber. That is true. Could dust the old gal off and use her. My simple one. I was so proud of that one too when I first made her. With the mouth open and then the mouth closed. That's literally all it is one image is my mouth closed like this. And then the next one is my mouth open like this. You need to get one? They're pretty cute. I just freeze my model. Do you? I never even thought of doing that.
which is thought to have had little effect. When the ambulance arrived on the scene, all of the children were hospitalized. A spokesperson from the school has since said that all of the children have either fully recovered or are on the road to a quick recovery. Strangely enough, this is not the first time this has happened. Elsewhere in Colombia, in 2023, 28 children from a different school are thought to have been hospitalized after using an Ouija board. One thing is for sure, we think children should be staying away from Ouija boards.
Why are they in the schools? Like, why is there a Ouija board in their schools? Is it just like there? Like, do they have a game room and they just keep it there for funsies? The heck?
What do you think? And
Yeah,
have you
that's
ever had an
crazy.
experience with a board? If so, we'd love to hear it in the comments section below.
When was this? That is a great question. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure he said maybe. But because I talk so much, I literally forget. Because if it was when they first came out, it was marketed to kids. I thought it came out a long time ago. I thought it came out in like the 1800s or something, or am I wrong? It did. But she had a TikTok shirt. So how old is TikTok? Because it had to have been somewhat recent. Came out in the 70s? Why did I think it was like, I thought like Victorian children were playing with it. What the heck?
Or drop us an email to mystory
Little
at top5.co.uk.
pale Victorian children.
Jinn caught on camera.
Ooh.
The following photo comes from Maka.
I was wrong, you're right. It was 1890. I'm so rarely right, my god. So, is that even the Victorian era? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I'm horrible. But I guess it was redone. And then they remarketed it to children. Was it marketed to children originally, though? Or was that just in the 70s? They were like, you know what, let's take this spooky demon summoning board game and make it for children. Because that totally sounds
A town from the western regions
like a
of
good
Saudi
idea.
Arabia. It's an image that was captured on CCTV security cameras posted in the Secretariat building, close to where the Kaaba, the holiest shrine in all of the Islamic world, is kept. In the early hours, at around 3 AM on October 2013, the security cameras within the building picked up something highly irregular. Standing to the right of what seems to be a series of building entrances can be seen a semi-transparent figure clad in a draping of white material. It looks very similar, in fact, to many of the Western depictions of ghosts, sighted at medieval castles and historical sites. It looks as though the figure is without a face, or at least it lacks one that
I mean, it kind of looks to me like someone with, I forget what they're called, but like where it covers most of their face so you can't see, you just see their eyes. I don't know what it's called. It does kind of look see-through though. Huh. Spooky. That looks like Photoshop. I can do true. I'm pretty sure there are apps on the phone that you can just download for free that you could take a picture in your house and just add in a ghosty if you want. Can't you do that with AI? Actually, I'm pretty sure I could take a photo and be like, "Hey, ChatGPT, can you add a semi-transparent like ghost woman to this picture?" AI can do almost anything now. It's crazy.
can be seen clearly. Al Medina Arabic Language Daily, the paper that initially published the picture, have suggested that the creature could be a jinn, but it was not clear what its intentions were. Jinns are infamous characters from Arabian and Muslim mythology.
Why is there a pumpkin by his butt? What the heck? I feel like that's not actually there or shouldn't be. It seems out of place in this kind of ancient looking art. Why is this here? Took 3 classes in high school for digital photo art. I took photography in high school and art in high school, but not digital. Kind of wish I had. I'd probably be better at being a VTuber. Or at least figuring out this dang computer stuff. Not supposed to be? Yeah, right? It looks weird.
Spirits who can appear in a variety of forms, both human and animal.
Look at his hair.
They are capable of possession, and are associated with snakes, scorpions, and lizards. Often referred to in Western regions as genies, they are neither good nor evil, and can turn invisible at will. Jinns are mentioned in the Quran. The belief in them dates back to before the 7th century.
Dang.
While the existence of jinns has obviously never been proven, there is an uncanny humanoid presence about the character in the photo. Some comments state that it could be a trick of the light or an insect on the lens of the camera causing a blurry white patch. Others are convinced this is real-life evidence of a jinn. What do you think?
Why a jinn and not just a ghost, though?
Awaken to a world of wonder
Oh
in
god.
Final Fantasy XIV Online.
I've never played any of the Final Fantasy games ever in my life.
The Doomsday Cult, who vanished from the world. This is a strange one. This story centers around a man by the name of Simon Cadwell, reportedly a local oddball who inhabited the quiet town of Nannup, south of Perth in Australia. An Englishman, Simon moved to Nannup in the early 2000s and quickly became known to his neighbors.
I don't like turn-based games except D&D. I usually don't. I play the Persona games, and some of those are turn-based games. And I play the Dragon Quest series, which is also turn-based. Maybe I do like turn-based games. Oh my god. Now that I'm saying it. But for whatever reason, Final Fantasy just never got my interest. I was like, I don't either, but then I'm thinking about it going, wait. I prefer one, I guess I should say I prefer when they're not, but being turn-based isn't a reason why I won't play it if it has a good story and it seems like something I'll enjoy. Because I do enjoy the Dragon Quest games and I love all the Persona games. I've beat all of them. I even have the special edition. I think Persona number, was it 5 or 6? I don't know. I have special edition for both though, when they came out. They came with the plushies and everything. I think Morgana, the cat, I can't remember which one that is. It's been a while. That might be 5, not sure.
As a very peculiar individual. Bruce Blackburn, Simon's neighbour from around that time, remembers him as a very secluded individual who lived with his younger girlfriend, Chantal McDougall, and a young girl called Leela, presumably his daughter. A close friend known only by the name of Popik lived in a caravan that was always parked outside the house. Reportedly, almost every time Bruce saw Simon, he was glued to his computer. When he wasn't, he was ranting about the dangers of magnetic fields and electrical transformers, constantly paranoid of them being a direct cause of his self-proclaimed impending doom. Simon would bury bottles full of batteries in his house, as he believed they would absorb the radiation from these magnetic fields.
What?
He was an extremely paranoid man who would frequently break out in red rashes due to stress. Now, when Simon was glued to his computer, he was engaging in a whole other world, unknown to his neighbours. In his own online world, Simon was a cult leader, known only as Psy, leading 40 individuals.
A cult leader named Psy? Psy at right now. Not saying nothing. That's why he's Simon.
Individuals across the world who had joined his religious sect, the Truth Fellowship. He preached the word of a new world in his book, Servers of the Divine, and would spend almost all of his time connecting with his followers on the internet. Little is known of the cult outside of these reports. On one occasion in 2007, the cult leader approached Bruce to inform him that he wanted to leave Nannup for pastures new. Bruce jokingly suggested he should go and live in the outback or in a third world country, but Cadwell was adamant that he wanted to go and live in Brazil. This came with a very sinister plan, however. In an email sent to a follower in May 2007, the cult leader revealed plans to take his own life. He and his family had planned to head out to the wilderness and commit suicide, where Popik would bury them, before taking his own life in a location where nobody would find him. It's unknown if they ever went through with the plan in the end, as they soon vanished entirely. In the following months, the family looked as though they were making plans to leave Nannup. They withdrew $4,000 from McDougall's bank account and sold their pet dog and chickens to Bruce. Just before he left, Cadwell apparently invited Bruce over for a beer. Supposedly he was very relaxed and easy to talk to. Halfway through July, the family disappeared, never to be seen again. They were reported missing to the police after a passport arrived for Leela. McDougall's mother discovered it and raised the alarm to the authorities. Despite the fact that the family had mentioned Brazil, there was no record of them ever leaving Australia.
This is depressing. He probably took him out and did his plan. That's why I don't like. Well, I mean, there's lots of reasons I don't like cults, but the fact that children get involved in it, you know, and especially these doomsday ones, they force the children to go along with whatever crazy plan they have. Oh, honey, so I forgot to tell you about the rest of the Discord war between Bob and I. I left you on him permanently muting me, right? Well, I accidentally kicked him from the server and he called me and I could remember how to put him back in as a mod. Oh, I saw that. I did see that you kicked him because I saw, you know, in the welcome channel or whatever on your Discord where it welcomed him in and I was like, what the heck? Did he leave and come back? And I think he put in there, I think someone asked and he answered that you kicked him out. I was like, you probably deserved it. Oh, look. Okay, look, I can explain. Oh, all right, Sai. Explain. Explain why you're a cult leader from my basement. No wonder why you're so happy to be down there. Dang.
It was also thought that Cadwell may have persuaded another young couple, Kirk Helgason and Alexander Fominov, to take their own lives after they visited him in 2003. Remarkably, further information on Cadwell was uncovered in 2011. Authorities digging into his past learned that his real name was Gary Felton, a man living under a fake identity after stealing the birth certificate of a man he used to work with in England. A fresh appeal was launched to try and track him down in 2017, but as of the time of this video, there has been no successful result. They have been missing for over 15 years now, and authorities are no further forward in determining what happened to them. Bruce Blackburn, their old neighbour in Mannup, believes that they may be living off-grid in the Australian wilderness without electricity. What do you think happened to the family? If you have any information, you can contact Crime Stoppers in Australia on the number on screen.
I mean, I hope they're living off grid without electricity, I guess. That would be the positive, I guess, ending. Because if they went with his cult plan, then they're no longer living anywhere. Which, you know, is awful for the adults, but that little girl that was with him, no bueno. Oh my gosh, Sai, it's mainly about carrots, nothing serious. A cult about carrots? Is it like just eating carrots? Or are you worshipping carrots? What's happening? Happening in my basement. I need to know. Or maybe I shouldn't know, so when the authorities come, I can be like, I don't know. There's just a lot of carrots down there. I have no idea. Carrots and potatoes.
Or file a report at crimestopperswa.com.au.
Making carrots? Not growing them? What are you making them out of? Humanoid carrots, dun dun dun.
The Mercy Brown vampire incident. Let's travel back in time to 1892 to explore a strange tale from Rhode Island. In the town of Exeter lived George and Mary Brown, the parents of a family with several children. They were unlucky enough to find themselves at the forefront of a few waves of tuberculosis infections.
Ooh.
At the time, a deadly disease spread by bacteria via coughs and sneezes, which ultimately caused respiratory difficulties. If left untreated, it can result in death. And in the late
Isn't that what is her name? Satine from Moulin Rouge died of? Didn't she have TB? Am I wrong? I just remember her coughing up blood. That making, growing, it's not the same thing. It's not. Yeah? Yeah, I know. Oh, there's an ad right now. I need to use the restroom really quick because I've been drinking a bunch of soda. I'll throw up my BRB. I'll be right back. Well, this ad is up for another minute on Twitch. BRB, y'all. I'm back. I'm back. I also may have shoved some Cheez-Its in my mouth. Maybe. I might have brought them to my desk too. Maybe. Thank you. I still need to switch the pop one to the newer one you made me. I forgot. I was gonna say get snacks. I did. I got... These were on clearance at this store, and I don't know why, because they're delicious, but they're Cheez-Its, and they're... It's called smoked cheddar, but they basically taste like barbecue Cheez-Its. Like Cheez-Its with barbecue flavoring. They're super good. And the waving one, yeah, I saved them all. I have to delete the old ones so I can reuse the name. Whoops, I blocked the camera with my hand. My bad. You love those? They were all on clearance, so I thought they were being discontinued or something. Because I was just going to buy a regular box of Cheez-Its, but then I saw these ones and I thought I'd try them. They're like 50% off.
late 1800s, this was a very real and very scary threat, which at the time led to superstition and rumour. Mary, the mother of the family, died first, losing her life to the disease in 1884.
Dang.
Later the same year, Mary and George's eldest daughter, also named Mary, would then pass.
It says they expire May 9 this year. Sorry, I'm chewing.
Following this, the family's younger daughter, Mercy, would die in 1891, and Edwin, their youngest son, would catch the disease later that same year. Now, around the time that Edwin caught tuberculosis,
They all
a
died
strange
from it?
rumour started to spread about Mary and George's family, possibly due to the rate at which they were dying. People in the local neighbourhood began to speculate that a member of the Brown family was a vampire, and one that had been responsible for the illnesses in the family. George, the family's father,
They should be a year out or 6 months. Is that why? I didn't know that. I got them at Target. I swear I've been to Target though, and I have to check now the expiration dates on some things because I've bought things and they've been past the expiration date. Maybe it's just my local Target. I don't know what they're doing. Huh. Yeah. Luckily, I do check expiration dates. Normally, I check them before I buy, but there's every once in a while where I'm in a rush. Yeah. Not rotating. Is that something? Well, that must be something they do, right? Go through and look at the old stock when they're putting out new stock. I hope so, anyway. It happened with, you know how you can buy like pepperoni, like the kind that doesn't have to be refrigerated until you open it? I like to buy that because I buy frozen pizza pretty often. So I can just pop it in and not have to like order Domino's or whatever. But I don't like, I like a lot of pepperoni basically, and they never have enough, so I buy my own to add extra. They're supposed to put the new ones in the back. Makes sense. That way they push the old ones on us first.
vehemently denied the accusations, but
I knew that about milk because I always pull milk from the very back. Or at least I did. Like my soy milk and my almond milk and stuff.
was overpowered by the opinions of the local community. He was eventually forced to exhume the bodies of his family members for inspection,
What?
overseen by local doctors and reported upon by the local newspaper. At this point, both Marys had been buried for a significant amount of time, and their bodies had been decomposed to the expected extent. Then the exhuming party moved on to Mercy's grave, the family's younger daughter, who had died several months earlier. When they cracked open her coffin to reveal her lifeless body, what they reportedly saw was enough to terrify the townspeople. Mercy's body had barely decomposed at all, leaving her in almost the same state she was in upon death. What's more is that blood was still present in her heart. The townspeople saw this as evidence of a vampire in the town, and immediate action needed to be taken as a result.
What?
Mercy's heart and liver were removed from her body and burned upon a pyre. The ashes of these organs were added to water for Edwin to drink.
What?
As was the superstition at the time, somebody who had been exposed to a vampire needed to consume the burnt organs of said vampire in order to be cured.
His own sister had to drink ashes of her heart and liver? Yep. That can cost the store a lot of money if they don't. That makes sense. Because then people will just be buying all the new stuff and the old stuff will just expire. It's crazy. I don't remember when they said this took place, but I'm assuming a long time ago. I hope.
Unsurprisingly, the strange folk cure did not work, and Edwin succumbed to tuberculosis 2 months later.
Yeah, because it wasn't a vampire, it was tuberculosis.
He was buried along with what was left of his sister. So what happened here? Why was Mercy's body seemingly so fresh after months of being buried in the ground?
Well, when was she buried? Was it winter? Was it cold? Was she buried in a different part of the cemetery where the soil is different? Like, there's all sorts of reasons. What was left? That's well, yeah, but I mean, if they just took her heart and her liver, then most of her was left, I imagine. But he made it sound like they were buried together or something.
While superstition aside, the answer can most likely be found in where she was buried. Mercy's remains were first entombed in a crypt, which sat above the ground. It would have essentially been exposed to the elements throughout the winter, and the body is thought to have been frozen as a result, preserving it for several months and preventing the blood from travelling through her veins. It's either that, or she was really a vampire.
Come on now. It was that. She was basically frozen. I'm assuming it was before they embalmed people if she still had blood in her body. What was left is wild, I would think. Yeah. I wonder when they started embalming people and why. Like, why did we start doing that? I haven't decided what I want when I die. Honestly, I don't think I really care that much if my whoever's left behind that cares about me, if they want to like turn me into ashes to make themselves feel better, I think that would be fine. If they want to spend the money to bury me, that'd be fine. I'd also be fine. Like I read one time that you can be planted in this field under a tree to help nurture the tree, and then your family members can visit the tree, you know? I think that's kind of nice. Embalming bodies for preservation began as early as 5,000 to 6,000 BCE with the Chinchorro culture in South America, modern day Chile, Peru. Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Uh, like mummies and stuff in Egypt too, right? Is that considered embalming? That's preservation of some sort, right? What about modern day embalming though, like the method that we use now here in the US anyway? I don't know if they use it in other countries. That's mummification. Yeah, that's true. That's mummification because they took all like the organs out and put them in little vases and stuff. You know they used to mummify cats too, and eagles and things, like birds and stuff. Thought that was kind of cool. Not that they like murdered them to do that, but it like that you could have a cat mummy. Yeah, for Bastet. Is it Anubis or Bastet? Oh, the cat goddess. Okay. Is Anubis the one that weighs like in the afterlife? He has the scales and he weighs your heart against you to see if you can go on into the afterlife. I played a game about that, but I already forgot. Anubis is the heart on a feather, or a feather. And you know what, too? It was a romance game where you could romance Anubis while he was weighing your heart. I don't remember what it was called, though. It was like a mobile game on my phone. He weighs the heart against a feather, yeah. I remembered it was something like that.
Who bought this land? This is a weird one. In July of 2000.
Oh, it's Me Chat. That's the game. It was Me Chat. That game, I think I still have it on my phone, but I haven't played it in a really long time. I've moved on to bigger and better games.
23, a very peculiar purchase was made, close to San Francisco.
What
Government
was it?
officials were quick to explore a massive land acquisition just northeast of the city, close to a major US.
Modern embalming practices began to take shape during the American Civil War, 1861 to 1865, driven by the need to transport soldiers' bodies home. Dr. Thomas Holmes is considered the father of modern embalming for pioneering chemical injection techniques during this period, with formaldehyde replacing earlier, less effective and toxic chemicals like arsenic by the early 1900s. The heck, they used to use arsenic? Dang. They were really wild back then. Lead in the like paint and on children's toys. And in like rouge and lipstick.
US Air Force Base. The land was acquired by an organization known.
Oh yeah, yep, that's true. There was real coke in Coke back then. I think it was a really small amount. I remember watching like something about that. Like a documentary on YouTube or something. They were really crazy back then. But then sometimes I think about like, I don't know, like 60 or 70 years from now, are they going to be talking about the food and drinks and things that we consume right now being like, and this chemical was in there and this ingredient and it caused all these issues, you know? Yeah, Red 40. Didn't they just stop? Did they ban that officially here, or did companies just decide to stop using it? Because I was reading that like hot Cheetos aren't going to be red anymore. They're like orange colored. But the last time I bought them, they were still red, and that was pretty recently. I don't know about that.
Known as Flannery Associates,
Same.
who have become the largest landowners in California's Solano County in the past 5 years, spending almost $1 billion in the process. Due to the proximity of the newly acquired land to the Air Force Base, officials have grown concerned that foreign nations with potentially malicious intent have attempted to access land close to the US military. Rep. John Garamendi is reported to have said that the government doesn't know who Flannery is, and their extensive purchases do not make sense to anybody in the area. He also noted the fact that they're buying land purposefully right up to the fence of the Air Force Base, which raises significant questions. Moreover, Flannery's attorneys have refused to provide further information on who their investors are, and the government has not been able to discover who exactly is behind the Flannery Group. All that Flannery have said is that they are a US-owned company, but the government cannot confirm or deny whether this is true.
What?
Flannery has also made no attempt to engage with government officials or the community, which is of further concern. What is of even more concern to the government is the type of land that Flannery has been purchasing. Almost all of it is dry farmland, land that would be impossible to turn a profit of over $1 billion with. This amounts to over 52,000 acres of land, over 300 parcels, 20 of which are near the Air Force Base. So what's going on here? Is Flannery suspicious enough to raise concern? And who could be behind this land acquisition?
Aliens. It's always UFOs is what I mean when I say aliens, by the way. People from space. They're buying it up. They have the technology to turn that land into something worthwhile.
We'd love to know your thoughts and theories in the comments section below.
I just gave them to you. Straight out my mouth.
Turnbull Canyon, the dark place.
Dark place.
On the surface, Turnbull Canyon is a beautiful area in the Californian Puente Hills Preserve. Lots of hiking trails, places for off-road vehicles, and mountain bikes.
This looks like the kind of place I would go to thinking it would be fun to hike, and then see this right here? This trail, I'd go up here and then I just fall and roll all the way down. That would be exactly what would happen. I guarantee it. My wonky ankle would just give out right up here. Go right down this, right down here into this hole and just die right there. Lay there. Give up. You think that's funny, Blue, that I die in the wilderness? Your knee too? Yeah. Like, my ankle never hurts me or anything, but I can always, like, I don't know, I don't trust it after it happened the second time. That's when I stopped wearing high heels. I was like, nah, I'm risking my life to be, like, 3 inches taller. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Now I just wear flats and tennis shoes and things like that. What side is your ankle one? It's, my left one. I had to think about that. You like walking, Sai? I like walking. I hate running. That's why I'm always like, if a serial killer or a kidnapper was chasing me, I'd just give up. I can't be running on this ankle. Then I'll just have a hurt ankle and be captured. Your left knee, so I couldn't help. Yeah, we'll just both be hobbling around trying to get up the hill. We need a walking stick or something.
Make it the perfect place to spend some wholesome time in the great outdoors.
Oh, there's houses here. Maybe they would hear me if I was screaming for help.
But scratch beneath the surface, and you realize how dark and dangerous Turnbull Canyon is. And the evil that saturates the place has a history that goes back for centuries.
What evil?
The natives who refused to set foot there called it Hatukna,
Hatukna.
which roughly translates to dark place. Unusual in that the area is quite bright and sunny, but the name doesn't reflect a lack of light, it reflects the darkness that resides there.
Oh my god, mobile game. Your dad told you you need a walking stick or kid?
When the Spanish arrived,
Dang, your dad's roasting you, Stel. What the heck? You must have a good relationship. Hey Bob, how are you? Welcome, welcome. You just getting off work? Where are my fries at? Where they at? My French fries that you specialize in French fries. I'm just watching a spooky video today. How far am I in this video? My god, I'm only look, this is how much I talk. I'm 48 minutes into this video. 48 minutes. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. It's taken me 2 hours to get 48 minutes in because of how often I pause it to yap. I'll be okay, Stel. Thanks for hanging and chatting with me. I appreciate it. Thanks for lurking too.
with their guns on a mission to convert the natives, they didn't care for their warnings and tales of death. Instead, they forced them into the area, believing that they needed to face their fears and convert to Christianity.
Also, I did bring fries, little cold. How dare you? You know fries are not tasty at all if they're even a little cold. I'm like furious if I order fries and I can tell when they had them just in like the warmer and didn't make them fresh. Because they're like barely warm. They're like room temperature warm. The crime. It's a violet coated stream, Rue. Hi, Rue. How are you? Have you been lurking in my YouTube this whole time? Or did you just get here? You're going to be watching this for the next 9 hours, Blue? What the heck? Nah. I don't know if I'm going to finish this one today. My God. It's 2 hours and 44 minutes, and I just made it past the 44-minute mark. I'm at 49 minutes. I don't know. Violet math is 1 hour video equals a 4 hour stream. I guess. I tried to find a shorter one because I knew it was going to take longer, but I didn't expect it to have been this long. I guess I talked too much. My bad. The warmer? You mean the heat lamp? I don't know. It keeps them warm, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure they call it a warmer here in the US, Bob. Hey, Bob, when you say Ouija board, do you say Ouija or do you say a Ouija? You say before it? Because you're allegedly British. You've been here? You chatted earlier? Did you? Did I miss it, Rue? When did you chat? I might have. I was probably busy yapping. I'm sorry. I don't see it. Are you sure? Are you trolling me? Oh, it doesn't go that far back. Never mind. It only goes so far back. My YouTube one. Or it's not YouTube, it's Restream chat, but I'm sorry, Ruru. I apologize. I feel kind of bad now. Don't worry, I don't mind. Thank you for being understanding. But I still feel a little bad. It's because of that, I won't eat another Cheez-It even though I want one as a punishment, okay? The first one, Ouija? Well, I didn't help the length. It's okay, Stell. I like chatting. I am in the just chatting category right now, so if anybody comes into this, on Twitch anyway, they should, like, I'm in the just chatting. It means I'm going to be chatting through a good portion of the video. If you came just to watch the video without interruption, nah. I'm going to be pausing it periodically to get my thoughts, to answer stuff. Oh, yes, Ella, you can check your VOD later and see. I believe you, Rue. It just doesn't let me scroll back. My restream only scrolls back so far, that's why. Hey, Matchy, welcome, welcome. How are you? Why are you crying? Why you always crying? No, you eat it. No need to punish yourself. You know what, Rue? You're right. I am gonna eat a Cheez-It. You're gonna have to hear it now. If I can get my hand, yeah, my hand fit. Because I only opened the bag like halfway. My hand's pretty small, so I can fit it in there. Here, you want to hear the crunch? Can you hear that? Unless it's in a sentence, like I'm going to use a Ouija board. A Ouija board? It's because earlier I was watching a video and I think this guy's British and he said a Ouija board every single time. Matchy, thank you for resubscribing. Dang, you've been subscribed for 6 months of me. Thank you. I appreciate it. How are you today, by the way? Have you been lurking for a while, or did you just pop in right now? Eating ASMR? Beside, I'm watching you while playing Neo. How's the game, Rue? Is it good? Insert munching gif here. I actually made one, but I haven't put it into my Twitch because I only get so many emotes, like animated ones. Once I figure out which ones aren't as popular, I'll remove it and try one of my other ones. There's just too many cool ones and not enough slots. I think I'm already maxed out with how many slots I can have because I have 12 animated slots right now, I believe. Just got done with a 5-hour drive. Made it just before my head started bobbing. Oh no. Why did you drive for 5 hours if you don't mind me asking? I doubt it was for fun, but maybe, I don't know.
Or be killed, and many Native Americans were put to death in the canyon.
But I am glad you made it back safely. If you're sleepy when you're driving, you should pull over and take a little nap, but try not to get like murdered, because you know that could happen on the side of the road. Of course it is, but I'm always biased with Neo. Is it Neo or Nio? I think it's Neo, but if you check game reviews, everything is positive and honest. It's fun. Sounds cool. Kind of makes me want to try it, but you said the thing's expiring, huh? The co-op thing, and I don't think I'd like it by myself. I don't know if I want to invest in it without trying it. I don't know. My dad's friend paid me to drive his spare car to his daughter at uni. How'd you get home then? If you drove the car there, someone follow you? Oh, you rented a car after you dropped off her car at uni and then drove that home. And then you return it tomorrow? I said it right, Neo? Okay. Yes. I've never rented a car in my life. I've never had a reason to, I guess. Although, no, I didn't rent a car. I was gonna say, when my car was totaled by a big rig, I just, I have a lot of relatives, so I just borrowed one of their spare cars for like, I think it was like a month and a half until, insurance wrote out a check so I could purchase a replacement car, or at least put a down payment on a replacement car, because it did not cover the full cost, I'll tell you that. Well, let's assume that Neo Demo will end on Saturday because that's the last day for the reward. Oh. One of the few things you have to be 25 for. That's true, huh? You have to be, what, 18? Is it 18 to, like, gamble? I can't remember, or smoke. And then 21 for drinking, and then 25 for renting a car. It's so weird. Like, you can smoke and drink before you can rent a car. America. And you can buy a gun before then, too. I think you only have to be 18. Who knows if it's true? If the demo's still up, I'll like, okay, Rue, sounds good.
One shaman said, "Now we are without hope. Now we remain for as long as the sun rises and sets in the sky." This may be one of the reasons why visitors to Turnbull feel as though there are hundreds of eyes on them, watching them. Perhaps the spirits of every American native that was killed in the area wait there for the shadows to lengthen and the sun to go down so they can seek their revenge. The most disturbing chapter of the canyon's history.
I don't think they would seek revenge on me. I think I'd be okay.
Took place during the Great Depression. For 10 years, during the 1920s and 30s, economic misery battered the American people. Many struggled and died from disease and starvation. In the Puentes Hills, new residents were said to have moved in. Wearing black robes, they held satanic rituals and were responsible for sacrificing children.
What?
Thought to have been kidnapped from orphanages around the Whittier area.
Oh, I paused it at the bad spot, or not the right spot, but those were teeth. Those look like tiny human teeth.
One story tells of a man who got lost and stumbled across a boy being hanged upside down on a cross as the
Why are they dressed like gnomes?
cultists chanted. In 1928, Mary Billings was beaten, strangled and buried alive in Turnbull, but was lucky enough to crawl out of her premature grave and escape. In 1952, the canyon attracted death.
Ooh, who did that to her? She crawled out. The heck? How is he just gonna mention that and then not go into detail about like who did it to her, how she managed to escape? What did he say her name was? Mary Campbell? I'm gonna write this down and I'm gonna look it up later because I'm nosy and I want to know. Literally writing it down. I guess I could put the video on while I do that.
To its scenic hills once again, when Flight 416 from New York City crashed there, killing all 29 passengers. Many of them were believed to have been children, and horrors still plague the area up to the present day.
Many of them were believed to be children. Did they not have, what is it called? The flight manifest, where it literally tells you who's on board, so they should know exactly how many were children versus adults? Ooh, a plane. It was a crashed plane, Bob. Of course you're attracted to the plane.
Between the years of 1995 and 2002, 4 murders took place at or were connected to Turnbull Canyon. In 2002, 17-year-old Gloria Gaxiola was shot to death on Turnbull Canyon Road, and her body was dragged along by a car for 4 miles.
What?
In 2009, Cristina Martinez had her throat slashed and was stabbed in the neck with needles
Oh my
before
god.
being thrown down into the canyon. Like Marie before her, 22-year-old Christina clawed her way out and survived. Then in 2011, a woman's mutilated body was found about 10 feet down an
Is there a serial killer? That's what it sounds like. And it sounds like it's kind of the middle of nowhere, you know what I mean? So it's not that surprising that, you know, crimes are being committed here. There's less chance of being caught or found.
embankment in the scenic hills. Sadly, she remains unidentified. One official said Turnbull Canyon was a good place to execute people and dump bodies. Having seen so much
Should he be saying that out loud, like, as an official? He's basically just telling everybody, hey, you want to commit a murder? This is a good place to do it.
tragedy and death, is it any wonder that the deceptively pleasant-looking trail is a place of dark energy and haunted by evil? I wonder if any of you have visited there and sensed anything strange or unnatural.
Nah.
If so, leave us a comment down below.
No, thank you. I have no intentions of going there. 19.
The Angry Ghost. Cadderby Tunnel in South Yorkshire, England has been unused for almost 50
The
years.
heck, Blue?
The tunnel is a paranormal hotspot and has been investigated on numerous occasions. One local ghost hunting enthusiast who has spent a lot of time there is Dean Buckley. He has thoroughly investigated the tunnel as well as the wooded area outside with the help of 2 mediums and said there is always a constant feeling of being watched. One ghost is thought to be the presence of a young girl who is known as the Mexborough Ragger. She was part of the gypsy community and lived in nearby Mexborough, where she called out for rags on market days. She would carry the rags along with water, taking them to the local quarries and sell them to the workers. One day on her way back home, she took a shortcut through the Cadderby Railway Tunnel and just didn't hear the approaching train, possibly
no.
because of the loud noise of blasting from the nearby quarry. When she did see the train,
Even if she didn't hear it, though, like, the vibration of the train on the tracks, she should have felt it. I think I mentioned this before, but there's, like, a bridge that I drive over, and there are train tracks. There's a train that runs over, not over the bridge, but next to the bridge, like, side by side. And when you are on that bridge, if you were stopped and the train goes by, the bridge shakes. Like, I literally, the other day, I was stuck on the bridge because of a red light, and the train went by and the whole bridge was shaking, and I was like, my god, I'm about to die. This bridge is gonna collapse underneath me. Because I use that bridge almost every day, and I've never been stopped on it before. Like, I've always made it to the other side where the road is, you know, like actual ground. And yeah, I haven't used the bridge since then. Now I take a different path that avoids it. That was a little too close. That looks like an octopus to me, by the way. What's wrong with his face? It looks weird. Like a Frankenstein octopus.
she ran into a safety archway but dropped her rags and tragically went back for them.
Girl,
She was
no.
hit and killed instantly, and her ghost is now thought to be wandering the area. In 1903, a worker from the nearby estate died by suicide when he laid his head on the tracks just before the train arrived. Could this possibly be the spectre named George that one of the mediums picked up on? His footsteps have been heard running into the tunnel. The mediums also sensed 3 figures outside. They were alive during the 17th century. One of them communicated that he was a young soldier, yet another investigator was freaked out when confronted by the ghost of a policeman. But Andy Pollard, another paranormal investigator who calls himself the Yorkshire Ghost Guy, has provided
Yorkshire. I can't even say it. The Yorkshire ghost guy? Where's Yorkshire? That's in England, right? Somewhere. That's a part of England, right? Is Wales a part of England? Or is that like, I don't know. I like that one, Matchy. That's a cool emote. Yorkshire. Isn't that what I said? It looks pretty cool, Blue. Absolutely not, honey. What does that mean? Wait, is Wales a part of England? Is it an island? What's Wales? What, Matchy? Do you know? Because you didn't answer. No, it's a part of the UK, but not England. Is it one of their territories then? One of their, Wales and England will never be the same thing. But you guys sound the same. No, it's its own country. It is? I thought it was like a subdivision or something of England. They do not sound the same. But Connor Sea Dog VA or whatever is from Wales, and he sounds like Bob when he talks. Yeah, whale. From Wales.
Us with our next clip.
Fair.
Pollard visited Carby Tunnel in December.
That's why I thought it was part of England. Wales is UK, not England. United Kingdom. Don't throw a brick at me. Don't throw my own brick at me. Ooh, how cool would it be if the brick was violet colored? Is that something that can be done, Sai? Sai, are you still here? You haven't said anything in a long time. Fair? It is fair. Connor is from Wales, yeah. Hence the red in the flag. I mean, aren't there a bunch of countries that look almost exactly the same flag as yours, Bob? Sea-Dog VA, yeah. Sea-Dog doesn't sound like Bob. Sea-Dog has a thicker accent, does he? I like his accent.
2022 with his camcorder and a K2 meter. This device can detect spikes in the electromagnetic field that could indicate a spirit's presence. After setting up the equipment,
Hey, that's what we used in Phasmophobia. Oh, you want it purple? Gotcha, no worries. Only if you have time and you don't mind doing it, Sai. Otherwise, don't worry about it. I just thought it might be cool if it was purple. Because, you know, I kind of like that color a little bit. I don't know if you noticed. I know it's very subtle that I like purple. You know what it's called? What? Phasmophobia? Rue? Do you remember this? It's a EMP reader.
Pollard asks any spirits nearby to come and talk to him. At one point, he captures a voice that tells him to F off. And later,
Ghost told him off? What the heck? Oh my god. If I ever went on a ghost hunt, that's the kind of ghost I want to get, like the sassy ghost that's like, girl, get out of here. I want a sassy ghost. It's just dissing me the whole time through the EMF reader. Or what was the other one called? It's like a radio. I forget what it is. It goes through radio channels and the ghost can use the radio voice or whatever to communicate. The one that I keep doing in Phasmo and then the ghost for whatever reason murders me every single time. Is that Ghastly, the Pokemon? What is that? Or Gengar? What's his name? Spirit Box. Yeah, the Spirit Box, that one. That's what I want to use if I ever go to a haunted house. Skill issue? What? Me? Are you doubting my skills, Matchy?
you can hear the words "trapped here" being said. Perhaps Pollard had found a ghost that is pretty cheesed off at being trapped here, in this world, and just wants to pass over to the spirit realm peacefully. What do you think?
You guys didn't even properly include it in your flag. I forgot what it's called for a second. Why? What do you have against Wales? What did Wales do to you? The spirit box. Is it a response if they don't know what it said? It's just gibberish. As of when it was made back in 1606, Wales was already part of the Kingdom of England. Then why wasn't it properly represented? Huh? Mr. History.
Keep talking. I'm going to take you up here for a little bit. Can you see the green light?
Kinda.
After the incident, Pollard admitted that the dank, dark tunnel was an odd place that he was wary of even in the daytime. On a previous visit, he supposedly captured the spirit of a woman asking, "Is my baby there?" If you live near the tunnel, then this one definitely sounds like it's worth investigating.
I've been into a cave where you go in really deep on like a tour, and they were telling us how they found it, like the top of the cave has a hole and they found a bunch of bones, like animals and a ton of human bones from people in olden times. Ye olden times that fell in the hole. But yeah, that's about the spookiest place I've ever been. And it wasn't very spooky though. I thought it was just cool. But it goes pretty deep and it gets really cold the further down you go, and it's wet and slippery. It was when I went to like a summer camp and they took us there as part of the like experience or whatever. I don't know. And then they warned us to be careful wandering around in nature because we might fall down a hole like this.
The Night Nurse. One November night in 2022, Rob Williams from Launceston, Cornwall, was just getting ready to hop into bed when he received a notification on his phone. He had installed a motion sensor doorbell camera and something had set it off.
See, I'm afraid to get a doorbell camera because of what it'll catch. You know, like if there's people wandering around outside my house, I don't want to know. I want to sleep at night. I feel like it will definitely catch something or someone. Cornwall? Why are you just saying Cornwall? And side-eyeing me with a rubber duck.
The camera pointed down the steps that led up to his apartment. Something had triggered the external light, and the equipment had
They're weird? Who? Cornwall?
recorded a strange apparition, standing at the foot of the steps. On first seeing the figure, Rob thought that it was probably just some drunk on their way home. He watched the person for at least 20 seconds before the light went out and the figure disappeared.
Maybe so.
Take a look.
They try to claim they're not English, but Cornish? You're saying they're corny. Where? That could literally be anything.
After watching the footage for a second time, Rob realised how strangely translucent the figure was, and was so terrified that he couldn't sleep after the incident, and had to leave the lights on for the rest of the night.
Whoops.
The camera should only
Oh,
be
my eyes.
activated when something is physically present, so the figure must have had a tangible
Your camera would only catch food deliveries, Blue? What? What? Fair. I do place quite a bit of Instacart and sometimes even Target deliveries. And sometimes Domino's. And every once in a while, if I'm feeling really in need, I will place a not Target, a Starbucks. Uber Eats. Order. Like, imagine saying you're not American, but you're a Texan. I could never imagine saying that I'm a Texan. I'm just gonna put the video back on.
presence, but it appears to be transparent and otherworldly. Rob believes that the apparition has all the characteristics of a human, with a body shape and perhaps a hat on top of the head. Rob posted the footage online, and although he was met with some skepticism, one woman who claimed to be a medium said that she had communicated with the spirit who had visited Rob. The ghost's name was Helen, and she used to work in a hospital which was once directly across from Rob's apartment. Apparently, she was 36 when she passed away from influenza.
I don't know if I like that emote that much. I might go back to my old one. Because I know it's supposed to be laughing, but I feel like it looks more like she's like frowning or wincing. I might go back to my old giggle one that I made a long time ago, even though it's kind of not super professional. I still kind of like it. We'll see. We'll see. Let me skip this. Whoops.
Since that night, although he feels that if the ghostly nurse Helen were to return, then he would be reassured that she isn't harmful. Launceston is a historic town, mentioned in the Doomsday Book of 1086, so it's hardly surprising that the area has its own collection of ghosts. Dockacre House, a 16th century farmhouse, is said to be haunted by the spirit of Elizabeth Hurley, who accidentally shot her husband Nicholas in 1728.
What?
Poltergeist
Accidentally. Wink, wink.
activity has also been reported throughout the home.
You like it,
At the
Sai?
nearby famous Jamaica Inn on Bodmin Moor, you can find the malicious spirit of a highwayman who wears a tricorn hat and dissipates through locked doors. A distraught woman holding a baby has been seen inside the mirror of room 5, and a young
Why is this still in this modern town? Or not modern, but like it's modern day. The Jamaica Inn. Why do they still have this? Do they still use this? Ooh, can I send something spooky? I mean, you can post it in the Discord under recommendations or whatever. I don't know if I'll get to it today because this video's I'm 57 minutes in. Wasn't I 48 minutes the last time I checked? Oh my god. It's taking me 18, no, almost 20 minutes to get 10 minutes in this video. Yeah, it's pretty much the ratio. If a video is 2 hours, it's going to take me 4 hours to get through it. My god. But anyway, yeah, of course. Of course, of course. I mean, if it ain't brokey, why fix it? If what isn't broken.
smuggler who was murdered has been spotted pacing around the courtyard in the dead of night.
Is it weird? I kind of want to be put in one of these at least once in my life just to see what it's like. Is that a weird thing to want? Like, not like as a punishment, but you know, just to see what it feels like. The houses? Say what? What do you mean? You want me to say what? Okay, what?
Travelling west of the inn, the spirit of Charlotte Diamond can sometimes be seen on the slopes of Rorter. She was murdered by her crippled lover and wears a gown and silk bonnet.
What?
In a field near South Perwyn, the spectre of Dorothy Dinglet has been spotted in a haunted field. She is thought to have died in childbirth in the 17th century. It's safe to say that this area is plagued with paranormal activity.
No, why would you want to know? Why wouldn't I want to know? Die? It seems fun.
This little pig. Pigs in one form or another have often been used in horror films. They were put to great use in the Saw franchise, and who can forget the pig-masked psychos in Tormented, which was subtitled This Little Piggy Came Home. Sound effects from the movie The Exorcist even mixed pig noises into the demon's voice. Our fear of pigs could be traced back to their connection with
People are afraid of pigs, but they're delicious. What? They do make some horrible sounds though, like squealing is terrible. It's pretty obvious. You can actually get them installed in your bed. Well, oh my god, Bob. No, you can't. Nuh-uh, I don't believe you, Bob. Nah, I'm just saying, like, I like learning about history and, like, you know, the Tower of London, where they have, like, don't they have a bunch of, like, torture things in the Tower of, London? Like, what are they called? Iron Maiden and the Rack and things like that? I mean, I don't want to get in like the Iron Maiden, but I'd lay on the rack. I wouldn't want to be like strapped down, but I would lay on it just to see what it felt like. I know, I'm joking. Okay. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm suspicious. Fish. So I forgot. Is Yap Yap on Friday or Saturday stream? It is the Friday stream, Rue. Yap Yap on Friday with myself, Blue, Cell, you, Bob if he shows up, because he decided he wanted to work, make a living, to earn money. And Cree, I think. I'm not sure about Cree. I gotta check with him again. The Iron Maiden ain't a tour. What is it for then, Bob?
Demons, as mentioned in 3 Gospels from the New Testament.
Oh yeah, I do remember that story from the Bible where like demons are slapped into pigs and then the pigs jump off a cliff or whatever. It was never actually used. Why? Why'd they make it then?
Jesus and his disciples were travelling to Gergesa when they met a demon-possessed man. He was too strong to be held down, even by chains, so he wandered around the tombs crying out and mutilating himself with stones. As Jesus approached him, the man asked, "What have I to do with you, Jesus, you Son of the Most High God? I adjure you by God, don't torment me." Jesus asked the demon for his name and demanded that he leave the man. The demon replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many," and it begged to be cast out and into a herd of 2,000 pigs.
Oh my god. Wow, that guy's a
Jesus
jerk.
allowed all of the demons to enter the pigs. Once they had, the animals jumped into the sea and drowned. Legion appears frequently in popular culture across many mediums, such as books, film, and video games.
I know I've heard We Are Legion, but I didn't realize it was from the Bible, I'm gonna be honest. Display thing? No way.
While in the next
It's basically like the Chokey from Matilda.
short video, ghost investigators are checking out an unknown location that was said to be haunted.
Is this censored or is
As
the
one of the men
quality just bad?
approaches a red metal door, he jokes that there might be a body in there before opening it. As he swings his light around the interior, a strange voice can be heard on the video. No one heard the sound at the time, and it was only after the vigil, when the footage was played back, that the words, "I have the body of a pig" were heard, followed by a grunting noise. Take a
What?
listen.
Let me stick the camera through the hole first, might be a body in there. What a tramp we don't see.
Are they British?
East what, so far? East wing. Can you get him?
Yeah, I heard it.
A photograph was taken in the area where the creepy EVP was picked up. It is shocking and shows some sort of demonic pig-like creature peering out into the light. When the voice and the images are matched together,
Supposed to be a pig-like creature, I guess, kind of. This looks like a cat right here, like little kitty eyes, the little ears. I don't know why a cat would be right next to a demonic pig. I don't think it would. I don't think so. Maybe it was made for torture, but it didn't work, so they used it for decoration. Maybe, Blue. Also, pigs are scary because you can train them to eat people. Do you have to train them? I feel like you don't have to train pigs to eat people. They'll just eat them. Like they just eat everything. Because I watch a lot of true crime. And yeah. I know about rats. Like I know like during battles, like the I don't know if it was the First World War or the Second, but and the Civil War actually, I think here in the US, but like rats would bite the toes off soldiers and stuff. That's why they had to sleep with their boots on all the time, which gave them like their feet were not in good shape basically. Which channel again? In Discord, Bob? The game recommendation channel. It's recommendations for any kind of content. But there's no credible evidence of an Iron Maiden ever being used. If there's no evidence of it not ever being used. Want to do a try not to laugh stream? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be good at it, to be honest. I'll probably laugh. But we could try sometime. I'm not opposed. Sent? Okay. True, but there's no evidence of it not being used, and there's no evidence of it. Wait, what? There's no evidence of it being used, and there's no evidence of it not being used. Of not being used and not being used. Why you do this, Bob? Why you do this to me? Why?
It makes for terrifying viewing. Take a listen to this again.
Let me stick the camera through the hole first, might be a body in there. What a tramp with no teeth. East what, so far? East wing.
This one sounds fake, by the way.
Can you get him?
It sounds so fake.
What do you make of that?
It literally sounds like someone's voice slowed down. And then like a pig clip. Sound clip or sound bite, whatever, playing. 22. I've only made it to 22 out of 60. Oh my god.
The strange monolith. Turn around. There's a thing back there. We've got to go back and look at it. Those were the words of one biologist who was part of a division of wildlife resources team carrying out an annual survey on bighorn sheep by helicopter. The team was making a sweep over the Lockhart Basin in San Juan County, Utah, in November 2020.
Oh my god, he's gonna shut her out again. And then their daughter.
When the scientists spotted an unusual object that resembled something out of a science fiction movie. The team then went in on foot to get a better look and found that the object in question was made of shiny metal and stood somewhere between 10 and 12 feet tall. It was a triangular prism with 3 sides, a monolith made from...
This was debunked and some artist came forward and said, well, this video is, I think this video is a year old or something. I don't remember. But I thought an artist came forward and said he made this and he put several of them up in random places in the United States just for funsies.
Either stainless steel or aluminium
Maybe that's a
sheets
different
joined
one.
together by rivets with a hollow interior. The rock that it had been placed into
Yeah, I think it's an
appeared to
art
have been
piece.
cut. It was as though it had been planted and firmly anchored rather than being dropped into position. As the state wildlife team approached the metal structure, one of the men joked, "The intrepid explorers go down to investigate the alien life form," but didn't seem in such a jovial mood once they had inspected it. He seemed genuinely bewildered when he asked, "What the heck is that?" The remote canyon of red sandstone looks more like that of a Martian landscape than that
Triangle.
of Earth, and comparisons were immediately drawn to the mysterious monoliths featured in Arthur C. Clarke's Space Odyssey series and Stanley Kubrick's film 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That movie's so
Those
boring.
monoliths transmit messages from aliens in an attempt to influence human evolution. Authorities were confident that the monolith was some sort of art installation, although no one has ever...
I bet he thinks he looks so cool just standing up there on top of this monolith. What if it really was like an alien artifact? He's getting all radiated.
come forward to claim the piece. As the structure was installed illegally, the Bureau of Land Management was positive that they would get to the bottom of the mystery. But before any real investigation could begin, the monolith disappeared, just as mysteriously as it arrived. It is unknown as to how long the monolith had been there, who embedded it, for what reason, and where it's gone. We'd love to hear your thoughts and theories on this one.
Whoa, special effects.
Subway possession. In scenes similar to those in the 1981 film Possession, in which Isabella Adjani becomes possessed in a subway,
What?
two friends in San Francisco got the shock of their lives whilst filming in the Mooney subway. As they walk along the platform and approached a yellow dumpster, they heard strange sounds and spotted blood and debris strewn along the platform. Take a look. It's believed the footage was taken in June 2011. The possessed woman had allegedly just split up with her boyfriend, and he had assaulted her in the subway after chasing her down there. He then hit her in the neck with a glass bottle and used the broken glass to cut at her body before pushing her behind the dumpster. The possession supposedly happened after the guy had fled the scene and the two friends turned up with their camera. After the filming stopped, the woman ran away, hit her head on the wall of the elevator and passed out. The boys then called an ambulance.
Why did they wait until she knocked herself out to call an ambulance? Why didn't they call an ambulance right away? She's not possessed. This poor woman was assaulted by her ex-boyfriend now. Probably having a mental breakdown. They just filmed it. Cool. Sorry, this kind of thing annoys me. I'm like, dude, get her help. Help the woman. Don't film her.
People are putting this down to a demonic possession or a case of mental illness. Either way, it's very sad. We're not sure what it is about subways, but a similar thing happened in 2014 when a video emerged from Canada that appeared to show a woman becoming possessed and launching a crazed attack on a fellow passenger. Take a look.
It's like either mental illness or she's on drugs.
That piece of footage was caught on an Edmonton Transit System train, and later transit police intervened and both individuals were removed from the train and issued violation tickets for fighting in public. The question is, was she possessed by something evil or just angry about something?
What did the other
Both
person
videos
do?
have been up for discussion since they emerged, with some believing they are both fake, with the first possibly being a realistic student short film. Others believe that either one or both girls had taken drugs. Possibly the highly addictive and dangerous designer drug Flakka, also referred to as the zombie drug, which causes
Flakka?
bizarre behavior that includes
Blanca? Doesn't that mean skinny girl in Spanish? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure my grandma called me that like all the time. Especially in high school. Because, you know, Latina grandmas try to fatten you up and she's always like, need to eat more.
losing inhibitions, gaining superhuman strength, and engaging in violent acts. Then there are those who believe the two girls in the video are
I thought bath salts was the zombie drug or whatever. I don't know much about drugs, I'm gonna be honest. I've never been interested in that sort of thing.
possessed by the devil. What do you think is going on in these videos?
Mental illness and or drugs.
The Scottish Ghost Fairy. Scotland in the UK is a place steeped in history, myths and legends, perhaps the most famous being the Loch Ness Monster. However, this next clip is not a monster, but an apparition that appears to manifest in broad daylight on the banks of a Scottish river. The clip was filmed by a lady who was videoing the river in the hope of filming some otters that had been seen in the area.
Ooh, otters.
Take a look and focus on the left-hand side of the screen.
Okay, I'll try. Sounds so peaceful. I could fall asleep to this.
The woman didn't notice the anomaly at the time. It was only
Where?
when she played back the footage. It's worth pointing out that the apparition could be an elusive Scottish fairy, as for many years Scotland has believed in fairies, originally thought to be evil. Fairies have been part of Scottish folklore for centuries. It is said that if you fall asleep in a fairy circle, especially after sunset, you won't live to tell the tale. Fairies are also thought to be responsible for stealing away babies and leaving a changeling in its place. The most vicious of the fairies are Baoban, Sith or vampire fairies, who devour their male victims and rip out their hearts.
What?
So was this mysterious figure something supernatural, or just an optical illusion? Whilst we're talking about Scotland, we thought we'd update you with the latest photographic evidence of the Loch Ness Monster.
Please do.
On the weekend of the 26th of August 2023, the biggest search for Nessie in over 50 years took place, in which hundreds of volunteers took part.
Fairies do indeed take your firstborn if you eat their food? Do you believe in fairies, Bob? You're not from Scotland. You have fairies there in England?
The event was well publicised in the UK and inspired Chaya Kelly to go along with a photograph she took on August 13th, 2018 of an unidentified large eel-like creature spinning on the surface of the legendary loch. Chia managed to capture the image before the creature disappeared and never resurfaced. At the time, she did not want to face public ridicule by making the photograph public, but after showing the image to full-time Nessie hunter Steve Feltham at the event, he was astonished and she decided to share it. Take a look.
The beauty of these latest photographs that Chi Kelly has taken is that they're here in the bay. There's 15 photographs. It lasts 2 minutes, the sequence of pictures, and there's a clear, focused image in the middle of it that I can't instantly explain.
The creature was about 200 meters from the shore, moving right to left at a steady speed. It was spinning and rolling at times, although Chia never saw a head or neck, and she could not accurately assess its length. The two parts that were visible were less than 2 meters long together. Chia was convinced it was a creature, but whether it was the elusive Loch Ness monster is still up for debate. However, Nessie enthusiasts believe it is the most exciting Nessie image to surface in years. What do you make of it? And do you believe in the Loch Ness monster?
I don't know.
We took a trip to Loch Ness a few years back, and although we did not see it, we must admit there is a strange atmosphere.
Is a hob like a hobgoblin? Or is that different? The hob. Wasn't the original photo of the Loch Ness monster proven to be a toy and a hoax? If I remember right. I don't know if I believe in the Loch Ness monster. I believe that there are things in our oceans and stuff, like possibly giant, like the, what is it, the colossal squid that they just discovered actually does exist. Things like that that are massive. Because there's, I mean, most of our planet is ocean. It's not surprising there'd be crazy giant sea monsters. Or sea creatures, I should say. They're not monsters just because they're big. Probably. Oops.
When
we go.
standing down by the loch.
Starting to get a little sleepy.
Don't
Oh,
upload
no.
your videos to YouTube.
No.
Upload to Restream, where
Ow.
we will live stream
Hydrate.
it to
Hey,
YouTube
love.
and all your platforms.
I already use Restream. Why are
The
you promoting
possession
it?
of Maurice Therio.
Let me hydrate. Welcome, welcome, love. A hob is a household spirit called a hob to give it a name that's common so people fear it less, but naturally they just help around the house and on the farm unless angry. Is that what in Harry Potter that oh my god, I can't, Dobby? Is that what Dobby is? Is he a hob? What is he? I just remember he gets a sock and he's, spoiler if anybody hasn't read it or seen the movie. We also have a lob. What's the, I am stretching by the way, or yeah, I'm stretching. Oh my god, and now I'm sitting again. And oh, and I gotta do posture check. Okay, I'm gonna posture check too. Hold on, I gotta roll my chair back because I moved it. Oh my god, I just whacked my headset on my microphone. Are you okay, microphone? I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that to you. Please stop. Don't stop working. I need you. Oh my god. I don't know why I'm talking to my microphone. Never talks back to me, I swear. Okay, posture check. The ocean is, yeah, the ocean is super scary. I'm more scared of the ocean than I am of outer space. I'm excited about outer space. The ocean, nah. Get eaten by a shark or something. Who knows what's in those depths exactly? Dobby is a, oh, you're right. Dobby is a house elf. I feel like I knew that.
Maurice Therio was the eldest of 15 children in a French-Canadian
15 children? Oh my god.
family. He had a tough life
Her mom, or his mom, she's working overtime.
growing up in rural Maine, where he was abused by his father and taken out of school at an early age
No.
to work long hours on the family farm. As an adult, Maurice moved to Warren, where he farmed vegetables that he sold from a stand. He was known locally as Frenchie, but he was a troubled soul. Events from his childhood had severely affected him. He also realized he had superhuman strength and knowledge of things that he had never been taught. Maurice, who was a devout Roman Catholic, started to believe he had been possessed by the devil. By 1982, his symptoms were amplified when his father murdered his mother and then killed himself, and the church believed that the devil had taken over him.
No, he just sounds like a abusive person. LOL, you're talking to your mic like this is everything. Well, you never know, Rue. Those glasses might get invented for real, and then my microphone might turn into like mic or something. I don't know. I gotta be nice. You never know. Right, Mike? Yeti mic? You're a good microphone. I paid $40 from you, or for you from Target. You've been good to me. Probably would be easy to have a video recommendation section so it won't be confusing. Instead of, oh, you mean like in addition to my game recommendation one? Maybe. I just worry I'll have too many channels and it'll look crazy. It's a lob, or the lubberkin is normally described as a large hairy man with a tail. It performs housework for a saucer of milk and a spot in front of the fire. Done. How do I get one? How do I get a lob, Bob? How do I get one in my house? Do I just put out a saucer of milk and in front of like the fireplace? Ow. Yep. There's also the Abbey Lubber, which is a minor demon that haunts a wine cellar and tempts monks into getting absolutely sloshed. I feel like that's one that monks made up so that they could get sloshed and blame it on the Abbey Lubber.
On 2 occasions, exorcisms were performed on Maurice, and he also called upon the world's most famous demonologists, Ed and...
It's believed to be the giant son of a witch and the devil. That's fine as long as he does housework, and I just have to pay him in milk and a cozy spot in front of the fire. I'm cool with that. Well, so that stuff won't get... Yeah, that's true, Sai. Telling you to get a room wouldn't even work. Do you know all the objects in my room, Rue? There's a bed in there, a dresser, TV stand, a TV, a PlayStation. My Switch, the handheld one is in there. My DS is in there. My Animal Crossing Special Edition one. Ooh, can you imagine if that one came to life? I've got plushies in there. There's so many things. My blow dryer. My straightener. Oh my god. I need to be nicer to my straightener. I'm always yelling at it. Ever since it burnt me.
Lorraine Warren, which resulted in them calling in Worcester Bishop Timothy J. Harrington in 1985 to perform another exorcism. Despite the skeptics, the Warrens always maintained that the possession of Maurice was frighteningly real, describing how Maurice would bleed from his eyes. Here is a terrifying clip from one of his exorcisms.
Is that a wax figure of him,
this is
or
scary.
That is not a wax figure, that is actually him. It was just a still. We also have St. George, he's pretty
cool. The
cool.
Warrens claimed that during the exorcism, Maurice's head split open and boil eruptions manifested on his skin, with crosses appearing all over his body.
What is
that same year, Maurice was charged with rape for a second time, but the charge was dropped when he confessed and blamed his demons.
Why would they drop the charge? I mean, he confessed, and even if he says it was demons that made him do it, what the heck? He needs to be in jail.
In 1990, journalists Michael Lasalandra and Mark Miranda co-wrote with the Warrens and the Theriolds a book called Satan's Harvest, in which they recall the demonic possession that blighted Maurice's life. It's a very creepy book, and will be perfect for the spooky season, so I'll include a link to it in the description below.
No, I'm not gonna buy it, because if it gives money to a rapist, nah.
Did not end well for Maurice. Things took an even darker twist 7 years after meeting the Warrens, when Maurice's supposed demons drove him to almost repeat the crime of his father. He chased his wife into the street, wounded her, then took his own life by shooting himself with a 12-gauge shotgun. Some say that his tormented soul had finally taken over. Those who knew Maurice weren't surprised, as they felt he was either seriously mentally disturbed or was indeed possessed by the devil himself.
The first one. Oh my gosh.
As Maurice claimed, Michael Lasalandra went on record to say, "I do not think he was a con man. I think he sincerely believed he was possessed." Michael recalled viewing a videotape of Theriolt's exorcism and said, "I saw things that were very hard to explain." His sister disagreed, saying she once saw Maurice put blood under his eyelids and cut crosses into his skin with a nail, and that he spoke a version of French and Pig Latin to make people think he was speaking backwards. She claimed her brother was not possessed, he was an actor obsessed with the occult. Theriolt apparently had plenty of reasons to feel guilty and depressed. He pleaded guilty to child rape in 1976
Oh my
and served
God.
5 years probation.
5
In
years
1985,
probation?
He was again charged with rape, but the charge was dropped when, like we said, he confessed and blamed his demons. Whatever the reason for Maurice's actions,
I hate
there is
him.
no doubt that he was a disturbed man, and his story and the exorcism footage was featured in the blockbuster horror film The Conjuring.
I don't like him.
Next up, we have Ghost Girl from the past. In June 2023, ghost hunters Lindsay and Lee Steer visited Huscar Pit near Silkstone, South Yorkshire, where alleged paranormal activity had been experienced in the past. Whilst live streaming in the area, they initially believed that they had not encountered any spirits, but when they watched the footage back, they spotted a strange
And probs a copy on AOA3. What's AOA3? Why am I saying AOA? Why am I saying it like that? I believe he was possessed. Why else would he speak French? Oh my gosh, Bob. You don't know AO3? No? Nah, I don't think so anyway. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I don't know. Okay, Sai. What's AO3?
anomaly.
It's like fan fiction heaven? You read fan fiction, Bob? About what? What are you fans? Is it Star Wars fan fiction? Is it like Chewbacca and Han Solo romance? Archive of Our Own is its name? Shouldn't it be AOO then? Why is it AO3? Oh, because it's Archive of Our Own. There's 3 O's. I get it. That took me a second. No, I don't. Okay. I believe you.
Take a look and keep an eye on the right hand side above the bridge in the bushes. Tell us what you see.
The right-hand side in the bushes? I mean, something fuzzy.
They were also sent creepy screenshots from viewers who had spotted what looks like a white floating apparition in front of a tree trunk. It appears to be a young girl.
But it's where to go for fanfiction. You don't know what AO3 is? No, Rue, I don't. I don't have. I used to read fanfiction, but not there. Archive of Our Own. Nah, Rue. I don't have a lot of time anymore. A lot of my spare time is this streaming, and then the rest of my spare time is reading books, like, and playing on my phone and watching anime and K-dramas. Most of the reading I do is like actual, like on my Kindle. Well, the Kindle app on my iPad, but still. Like any fanfiction you want is on there. I don't know what kind of fanfiction I would want to read though. If I were to read any. Because it's not official. I don't know. What do you read on there, Bob? What do you read on there, Rue?
The site they were on has a tragic past, and the bricks you can
Is this a statue? What is this? It kind of looks like a person crawling. Just give it a look. Some of them are apparently good. I like how you say apparently good, like you've never been on there. Like you've never read anything. Oh, I don't. I don't read that stuff. I listen? What does that mean? Do they have like audiobooks of fan fiction?
You can see are an old day-hole shaft that is now a memorial to a tragedy that happened nearly 200 years ago. It all began on the 4th of July 1838, days after Queen Victoria's coronation. 300 foot below.
Too true, but you know when you encounter a sad book and want to see a happy ending, AO3 is the way to go. You know what? On my TikTok, like not my Violet TikTok, but my like my personal one that I use for like family and friends is like I always cuz I'm on Book Talk a lot, you know, on TikTok, and I'll see like videos of Hermione and Draco together as a couple, and it's from fan fiction. Like I didn't realize that was a thing that people shipped them together, like them ending up together and not her and Ron. Did you know that was a thing? Any story with a sad ending, it's my copium. Is it real? I try not to read books with sad endings, I'm gonna be honest. That's why I mostly read romance books or like science fiction. There's probably tons of those too, not audiobooks. Well, if you think about it, enemies to lovers is true. A lot of my romance books are like that, where they hate each other at the beginning and then they slowly fall in love. And I always prefer it when the guy falls first and harder, and the girl still kind of hates him for a long time. There are some authors that started there now. I like seeing original authors get published. Honey Nose Ball, real? It's peak, Bob. The more they hate each other, the better the romance is later on. But we don't talk about those? What? Why not, Rue?
Ground in a coal pit were around 50 children and 33 coal getters, frantically cutting and moving coal, trying to make up time that they had off for the celebrations. The weather that day was calm and gloriously sunny.
Oh.
But as the day went on, it quickly deteriorated and a vicious thunderstorm set in. As the
Dang, Bob.
miners worked their way down the
Is that your favorite too? Romance? Enemies to lovers? Is that what you read? Ooh, anything you think is overrated? Like book-wise, you mean, or what? Because popular books that I think are overrated would be Quicksilver. That's I almost always finish a book even if I am not enjoying it, because I just like to finish things, I guess. I don't know. That I start? But I started that book and I got pretty far and then I just stopped. It's literally the first time I DNI'd a book. Or DNF'd, I mean, DNF'd. Trope-wise, like enemies to lovers that I think is overrated. My main issue when it comes to like romance tropes is when there are misunderstandings that could easily be remedied by having a normal human conversation. But they don't have that. They just let it go on for a long time. It just seems stupid. I don't like that. It makes me so mad because I'm like, literally all you have to do is say, hey, that girl I saw you with, you guys were kind of close. What's up with that? And the dude would be like, oh, that's my sister. That's my sister you saw me with. It wasn't what you thought. You know, just stupid things like that. They piss me off. I'm like, just communicate. So yeah, those ones make me mad. I don't like them. You want to know a legendary Harry Potter fanfic that people were introduced to against their will? Yeah, Rue, tell me. Harry Potter fanfic is kind of weird because they ship weird pairs. Yeah, I've only read the first Harry Potter book. And only because I was reading it to someone else. But, yeah.
pit.
But anyway, Bob, yeah, that's my number one pet peeve, trope-wise. What's yours? Tell me. What makes you mad? Have you ever DNF'd a book where you just started reading it and were like, nope? Actually, there are other ones, but it was because I could tell they're self-published and they didn't have an editor and it had a bunch of like misspelled words. Sometimes they would use a different name for the female character, like they changed the name partway through and forgot about it and didn't go back and change it back or fix all the errors. Things like that I can't stand. I don't like the one bed. Oh yeah, where they like go to an inn and all the other rooms are taken and there's just a single bed, so they're forced to share one. Yeah, that's a pretty common one. Because I'll happily sleep on. Yeah, right. Because a gentleman would be like, you know what, you take the bed. I'll just take a pillow, some blankets. I'll be cool on the floor. There's no reason to force it. I can't stand romance with so much misunderstanding. Like, dude, don't you guys know how to talk? Exactly, Rue. That's what I mean. It just feels like a cheap way to make drama instead of actually being creative and coming up with like outside forces, or there's plenty of other things that they could do to create drama and like intrigue in the story besides misunderstandings.
The water began to
I see that a lot in K-dramas too, because I watch a lot of K-dramas and C-dramas and J-dramas. And that's pretty common, the misunderstanding thing. Makes me so mad every single time.
build up above to dangerous levels. And because of the flooding, the miners were instructed to stay together at the bottom of the pit and wait to be rescued.
What?
However, some of the children ignored the instruction, and desperate to save themselves, 40 of them started making their way to Huskar Drift to try and reach the dayhole opening that you can see in the photo. But as they climbed out, water burst through, trapping and drowning 26 of them. The children who died were aged between 7 and 17.
Oh no.
After their bodies were recovered, they were laid to rest in 7 graves. 11 girls were buried together in 3, and 15 boys in the other 4 graves. Could it be that the apparition in the video is the ghost of one of those children who died under tragic circumstances? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know that it was an apparition in the photo, but if it was, maybe. I can't believe they used to send children into the mines. But then again, it's like a long history of child slavery, basically, right? I mean, back in the day, they'd marry like 12-year-old girls to like 30-year-old men as wives. Ugh. Human history is wrought with craziness. Truly. This fanfic is like preserved in YouTube. Whoever wrote it, they have cemented themselves with this fanfic. It's called Harry Potter Fanfic My Immortal. You'll find it in YouTube. Is it long? Like, is it a long video if I were to watch it? Maybe I should stream it, react to it.
The Exorcist.
I'm at 2:59 right now, stream time. 2 hours 59 minutes. How far am I in the video? I'm an hour into this video. Oh my god.
Of Laura. We're finishing up with something so terrifying that we advise you not to think too much about it, otherwise you will not sleep.
Oh, buddy. My friend, buddy pal. You'd be surprised how easily I can sleep after watching some pretty horrendous true crime stuff. I'll sleep just fine, thank you. Once I've had a snack, I mean. Search for it at your own risk? What does that mean, Rue? What is in it? Am I going to be traumatized? Am I not going to be able to watch Harry Potter ever again? Am I going to have flashbacks to it? It's multiple vids? Oh, so it's long. Oh my gosh. Harry Potter fanfic My Immortal.
This footage is a rare and disturbing glimpse into a modern-day exorcism. It was filmed in Argentina in 2015 on a woman named only as Laura. The woman, believed to be 22 at the time, was reportedly a good girl turned evil after she
A good girl turned evil. That's what people say about me.
was possessed by the devil. The perceived
Nah, they don't. I was never that good.
symptoms of demonic possession included superhuman strength, superhuman knowledge, a different voice speaking through the person, and the inability to control oneself or one's inhibitions. It's unclear which of these symptoms Laura was experiencing, as there is not much information online, but it was believed that she had been freed from the devil by exorcism. Before the exorcism could begin, locals gathered at the church in the capital of Buenos Aires, praying for Laura's soul and redemption. The exorcism was performed by Bishop Manuel Acuna, and in the footage, Laura can be seen withering around on the floor and screaming profanities, before being pinned down by church helpers as Akuna supposedly drives the evil spirits out of her. The footage is disturbing, so viewer discretion is strongly advised.
This is not known for good reasons. Is it because it's like a poorly written fanfic, or is it the content that makes it not for good reasons? Now I'm kind of scared, Rue. You gonna ruin Harry Potter for me? The new series is supposed to be coming out soon, isn't it? On HBO? I want to watch it.
Take a look.
Oh my god. Right in the middle of that, whoops, I didn't mean to pause it. That exorcism. I was trying to mute it.
Here is a translation of what the bishop is saying during the process. The demon exists. He's not an idea. He's not a theory. He's not something abstract. The devil is a personality and therefore has a strategy. We are talking about something terrifying, a fallen angel. The devil is not a metaphor. The devil is something real that Jesus Christ faced. The devil looks for the perdition of the human being, and for this he will use any possible evil instrument. When the exorcism comes to an end, Laura gives a strangled cry, and then suddenly closes her eyes and falls backwards exhausted, wiping away tears as the priest once again makes the sign of the cross over her body. Bishop Akuna can be heard saying, "Thank God we've recovered a daughter of God." Laura is supposedly finally free. But unfortunately, things do not always go to plan, and an exorcism is not always the answer, and perhaps the most well-documented case of when things go wrong is Annalise and Michael. You've probably heard the story many times before, but we'll give you a brief summary. Annalise was a German woman who underwent 67 Catholic exorcism rites. As a teenager, she had a history of mental illness and was diagnosed with epileptic psychosis. However, when psychiatric treatment proved ineffective, and Annalise became physically aggressive, self-harmed, drank her own urine, and ate insects, her family became convinced she was possessed by a demon. In desperation, they appealed to the Catholic Church for an exorcism. At first the request was denied, but eventually in 1975, Bishop Joseph Strangle granted permission for Father Arnold Renz
Bishop Strangle?
to perform an exorcism according to the ritual Romanium. However, total secrecy was ordered. Renz performed the first session on the 24th of September 1975, and at her request, Annalise's parents stopped consulting doctors and relied solely on the exorcism rites. A total of 67 sessions took place over a period of 10 months, each lasting up to 4 hours. Here's some audio clips of some of the exorcisms carried out on Annalise. Despite the German dialogue, the guttural demonic voice is disturbing, so listen with caution.
Okay.
Sie müssen nach ihrem Gewissen handeln. In Bezug auf das Ding? Ja, vor allem wenn... Nein.
Sadly, unlike Laura, Annalise was not freed from her supposed demons and started refusing food. On the 1st of July 1976, Annalise died in her home. Her cause of death was malnutrition and dehydration caused by self-inflicted starvation. She weighed just 30 kilograms, or 66 pounds, on her death.
Oh my god.
The aftermath of her horrific death resulted in the state charging priests Ernest Old and Arnold Renz with negligent homicide, along with Annalise's parents. The priests were found guilty and were sentenced to 6 months in jail, reduced to 3 years of probation. However, her parents received no punishment, as it was concluded that they had suffered enough. Several films are based on Annalise's tragic story, including the 2005 film The Exorcism of Emily Rose, the award-winning 2006 film Requiem, and the 2011 film Annalise, The Exorcist Tapes.
Welcome back.
Today, Annalise's grave in Killenberg am Main in Germany is a pilgrimage site. double death. Stuart and Cyril Marcus were twins, who were born just minutes apart in 1930 in New York State. Growing up, they were so similar that even their mother had trouble telling them apart. Whenever one of them got into trouble, she would spank them both, just in case.
What the
Most
heck?
of the time, the boys only talked to one another,
I'll hydrate.
preferring their own company to that of outsiders.
Hi, Ugg.
Both
Welcome,
brothers were highly
welcome.
intelligent, although different in personalities, with Stuart being the more charming
Ooh,
of
my
the two.
soda went flat.
They went on to study for medical degrees
Oh, doesn't
and took
taste
their
good.
residencies at Mount Sinai Hospital together. The chief gynecologist there said that the twins were resentful of criticism and disobedient of orders. The senior doctor there split them up, referring to them as monsters, and Stuart was sent to a hospital in California while Cyril stayed in New York. Cyril married and had 2 children, but Stuart remained single all of his life. He was engaged at one time, but his fiancée called it off, saying he was terribly impersonal and distant and had no interest in intimacy. Stuart returned to New York, and the brothers ran their own infertility clinic where they attracted a clientele of wealthy women and were considered gods and miracle workers. But they were also seen as strange by many and were prone to violent outbursts. Stuart was given an associate professorship, meaning that Cyril was left to manage the running of their clinic alone. He soon spiraled into drug use because of the pressure, and his wife divorced him.
What's up, Unks? How are you, honey? I'm good. You're catching me at the back end of my stream. I'm a little sleepy now. Just watching a spooky video that's taken, I've been streaming 3 hours and I'm about an hour and a half into this video. Double the amount. Of course. How are you today?
In 1972, Cyril, who was now in his early 40s, collapsed from what was a suspected overdose, and the handyman at his Manhattan apartment called Stuart to tell him that he thought something was wrong in Cyril's apartment. There was silence on the other end of the phone before Stuart made his bizarre reply, "You're right, something is wrong." From then on, the twins became even closer and did everything together, including taking copious amounts of drugs. It was the handyman who first noticed the
Sorry I'm late, my sleep schedule's messed. No worries. No worries at all. Just happy you're here. Still sad over James Vanderbeek. I know he was in a show, Dawson's Creek. What else was he in? I'll be honest. I don't know much of his work. I've been following him since he was diagnosed. What? Oh, Varsity Blues. I've never watched that. I didn't know he was sick or diagnosed with anything, but I don't really follow celebrities if I'm being honest. So I usually don't know until somebody tells me something about them. I don't really, I used to be super into like celebrity culture, but not anymore.
foul odor coming from Cyril's apartment. When the police arrived, one of the officers described the place as being a pigsty.
Oh no.
There was dirty crockery and clothing strewn about, half-eaten food, and signs of the brothers' rampant drug addiction, with over 100 empty pill bottles found around the place. One chair was covered in excrement, having been used as a makeshift toilet.
Ew.
Cyril was lying face down on the bed in a pair of shorts. Stuart was found on the floor in another room, lying face up and naked. Sometime between July 10th and 14th, 1975, Stuart died. It was determined that Cyril died sometime between the 14th and 17th, as he was seen outside the apartment after Stuart's death. After 30 chemical tests, the ME was unable to decide how either of the men had died. If Stuart died from an overdose, why did Cyril leave the apartment? Why did he come back? And how did they both die? Did they try to come off the drugs by going cold turkey together, and something had gone horribly wrong? With rumours of some sort of incestuous relationship between the twins, and talk of mental illness and a suicide pact, the truth is, no one will ever know.
Those are all just rumors. I don't know if I would add them in the video, personally. Were you able to get your free Starbucks? No. So I checked for it on the app, but it said if you have to buy one and then you get one free. At least here, I don't. Unless there's a different one, but I didn't see the offer in the app. Except for that one, it said if you could buy whatever custom drink you want, and then you get a free like iced coffee drink as a BOGO or whatever. So I didn't end up doing it. Did you? You get one, Oaks? I bought a refresher and got a free mocha frap. Nice. See, I can't drink two though. One of them would go to waste probably. Especially since I was on the way to work. I would have had to have gotten it after work instead. I don't know why I paused that. I meant to mute it. I could put one in my fridge, you know?
Come out and play. It looks just like any other children's playground. There is a set of swings and a climbing frame, but this outdoor play area in Huntsville, Alabama has a chilling secret.
What is
In
it?
1918, the whole world was in the grip of a deadly disease. The Spanish flu pandemic raged on for 2 years, and influenza infected 500 million people across the world, killing between 25 and 50 million. With no vaccines or treatments, 675,000 of those deaths were in the United States alone, and the bodies piled up at the makeshift morgues. The flu arrived at
I think the Spanish flu here in America was the last time like we had something like that before COVID, I mean. If I remember correctly. You don't have a mini fridge at work? No, there's just a big like community fridge, but people be stealing out of that, so I don't put anything in there. I don't put anything in there. Mm-mm.
in Huntsville in September of 1918, and by October 7th, there were more than 1,100 cases. In just one day, the health officer reported 300 cases and 7 deaths. Huntsville was so badly affected.
What's annoying is there's a camera in the break room, but it only faces where we clock in because that's all they care about is if we're like stealing company time. They don't care if people are stealing out of the fridge. There's no camera facing that way. They don't care.
That just 6 days later, the local newspaper stated that there was a separate situation with all druggists and physicians except one stricken with the disease. Parents warned their children about the dangers of catching the flu and how it could be spread. They were even taught a strange little rhyme to remind them to keep their windows closed.
I had a little bird. Its name was Enza. I opened the window and influenza.
There is no official count of how many children died in Huntsville.
I've never heard that rhyme. That was here in the US. I had a little bird. Its name was Enza. I opened the window. Influenza. How does that teach them not to catch the Spanish flu?
During the epidemic, or how many of them were buried in Maple Hill Cemetery, but the numbers must be in the hundreds. Years later, it was right next to this cemetery that the playground was erected. The locals now call it Dead Children's Playground, and witnesses have reported seeing orbs and spirits, as well as the swings moving on their own, as though a child is being pushed along by an unseen hand. It seems the shadow children like to come out and play after dark, and they often call out to passers-by.
Well, that's creepy. I like those old weird nursery rhymes. Oh my god. I've been streaming for 3 hours and 16 minutes, which is not that much, I guess, for me, but I'm very sleepy. I have to work tomorrow. Not in the morning, luckily. That's why I'm up right now. In the afternoon. Oh. Alright, and I still need to eat. It's alright, go rest up. Yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna finish this video today. It's 2 hours and 44 minutes, and with the amount I yap, there was no way I would ever finish this. I guess I could finish it another day if I don't forget about it. Alright, thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. Still can't believe I got exposed. Yeah, everybody, Sai's a cult leader. He makes carrots in my basement, just so for everybody that missed that. Dal found out, discovered it. Well, me and Stell, I guess, together. Is up with you streaming without eating? Bad hap. I eat. It's just I eat my dinner kind of early. You know? And then I usually have a little snack while I'm streaming, but then I end up hungry. Because I usually only eat like maybe 2 meals a day instead of 3. I don't know why I do that. There's not really a good reason. I'm just not hungry in the morning. Oh my god. I'm being raided right now. Oh dear. Hi, Lord Dinkerton. Thank you for the raid. Thank raid. It sure is. Oh my god. Thanks for doing the shout out. I don't know if it was it you, Sai? Bob, somebody did. How are you? I'm watching spooky YouTube videos. I appreciate you rating me. It was you, Sai? I figured. Good job, Sai. Good mod. Extra sugar cubes for you today. Doing well. I hope your stream went well. Perfect. Oh. We just got done with Dead Space 3. Nice. I played the first one, but I never played the second or the third one. You caught me at the end of my stream, my friend. I was playing with Duck. Oh, Small Duck? I don't think I've ever played with Duck. No, was he in the lockdown stream? I don't think so. Oh well, I appreciate it anyway though. I usually stream for like 5 hours at a time, but I have work tomorrow. So I'm cutting it early today. Yeah, Small Duck. Yeah, I don't think I've ever streamed with him. Or her. I don't even know. With Duck. Oh, those are cute. Hi, Bobby Burst. How are you today? Good to see you. I'm Violet. And I was watching spooky videos. I only made it halfway through because it's 2 hours and 44 minutes and I yap so much. I've spent 3 hours watching about an hour and 28 minutes worth of video. Literally how much I stopped to talk. Thanks again for the raid. I do appreciate it. Yapping is good. Yeah, it's one of the few skills I have. And my mediocre gaming skills, I guess. There's that too. I try my best, you know? Honks. Alright. My goodness. I hate ending right after I got raided too. It always makes me stay longer. It's so tempting. Because I feel bad. Like if someone takes the time to raid me to just end. Driving is not her okay, I ran over one sheep one time in a video game. That doesn't mean I'm a bad driver all the time. It's okay. No negative. How am I negative self-talking? Raid someone else? I'm not negative self-talking. Saying I'm mediocre is a fact. I don't think of it as negative. I play games for fun, not to be the best. Bruh. And then you throw bricks at me with my own bricks. Wow. I see how it is. My gosh. Alright. Go sleep? Yeah, I need to sleep. I'm pretty tired. My gosh. Eat then sleep. Okay. Yeah, that's true. I need to eat. I think I'm just gonna have a cream cheese bagel and then crash. Oh. It's been a day, my friends. Alright. Should I raid? I feel like I should. I haven't done a raid in a long time though, and I'm so bad at picking. I never know who to pick because most of the people that I follow aren't on right now. I'm like the latest. Up to you. It just does weird things because I stream on YouTube at the same time, so I feel bad for my YouTube. I think it's just Rue right now. If Rue's still there. She hasn't said anything in a long time, so I don't know if she's still watching me on YouTube. Small Duck is on? I don't know if I followed Doug. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure. I can look, I guess. Where's my raid button, actually? I haven't done it in such a long time. I can search. Oh yeah. Hold on, let me click it. Is Duck going to bed too though? Duck's leaving. If I raid that's I can't raid. I forgot the raid message. Me too. That's how long it's been. This person's just doing a test, probably not the best. This is the problem, is I'm so indecisive. And I like to do other VTubers since I'm a VTuber. But it's giving me mostly like people. Humans. Regular peoples. Not tubers like me. It's really just throwing everything out there. I don't know. And I want someone that has not very many people, because I feel like that's more fun. They have like 40 or something, it's less fun. I have a VTuber just started. Ooh, I got one. And he raid me. You could just say Honey Hive raid. Cough drops via VT. Hold on, let me look. Who has less? Ria. VT has 6 watching, doing art. And then what was the other one? Cough drops. Dang, Bob, you really do collect VTubers. How many you got now? Like 40? I'm just kidding. Ria. Ria has less. Let me see. What is Ria doing? Ria's doing art. Let's raid Ria. Si te ven triste y solo eres culpable. Hi, Crispy. I have no idea what you said. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Honey Hive raid? What are you doing, Sai? Let's raid Ria, because she does, or I don't, is this she? I don't know. Does not follow me. Oh, that's fine. 6. Let's raid there. Let me say my goodbye. You're making a raid message? Alright, let me do my goodbye to you guys first, because I'm probably gonna go into hers, just kind of say hi, and then bounce immediately and go eat my bagel and then go to bed. Alright. I hope you all have a good day and a good night. I hope you stay safe, stay healthy, stay awesome. And hopefully I'll catch you at my next stream, which will be Friday when I'm streaming Yap Yap as a collab with several people. I'll put it in my Discord. The game and everybody I'm streaming with that day. Although I don't know if they're streaming too. We'll see. Yep. You got it, Sai. Thanks, Sai. Alright, let me start the raid. Hopefully I do this right. My god. Let's do it. I might turn off my YouTube. And yeah, I think I'll turn off YouTube. And the YouTube stream, I mean. So, bye, Rue, if you're still in YouTube, and anybody else who's lurking in there, I appreciate it. Have a good night. Alright. That's cool that I can end YouTube. Alright, let's start the raid. Hopefully I do this right. According to Translate, Crispy said if they see you sad and it's just your fault. What? Crispy is my fault? Bye, Rue. Let me say bye to Rue. There we go, I typed it. Hopefully she still sees it. Okay. Let's do this then. Oh, I'm so awkward. Alright, I'm gonna do it. I don't know, I copy and pasted. Okay.